Hi everyone, I'm Junhao. I'm back with a new video. This video I will do a Addmaths paper. Yeah, I'm going through the Negeri Sembilan trial for 2025 and this is the paper 2. My last video was the paper 1. Now it's the paper 2 lah. Okay. Alright, if you want more videos like this, make sure you subscribe. And if you all are interested to gain early access to all my future videos, you all can join my channel membership. All the links are in the description. So if you are interested, you can go to the link in the description and join there. Okay. Alright, so without any stalling, let's start. Okay, bahagian A, they say jawab semua soalan. Alright, I know that already. Okay, number 1. Okay, first step is knowing what chapter first, right? Yeah, because if we don't know what chapter is the question, it's very difficult for us to do it. We might use the wrong formula if we don't know the chapter. Okay, so let's read first. The table 1 shows the 3 types of investment units for a company that have different annual rates of return. So you have 3 types, right? Arif, Bijak, Cerdik, and they all have different annual rate of return. Annual means 1 tahun. So 1 tahun punya rate for Arif is 4.5%, for Bijak 5.2%, Cerdik 3%. Okay, I still don't know which chapter, but it's okay. Let's keep reading. Mirza has invested a total of 25,000 ringgit in each investment unit of Arif, Bijak, and Cerdik. So this is the total for all 3 investments lah. Okay, the total investment of Mirza in the Bijak investment units exceed the Cerdik investment unit by 3,000. Okay, I feel like I know which chapter already. The total return on investment earned after 1 year is RM1125. How much is invested in each unit? Okay, this definitely I know already. Yeah, after reading this paragraph, I know already. It's from 4, chapter 3. It's called the system of equation. And this is under 3.1. Yeah, the linear equation involving 3 variables. Yang ada x, y, z. And you have to solve for the x, y, z later lah. Okay, so first step is to write the 3 equations first lah. So it's very hard for me to write the equation now because I don't know what's my x, y, z. Okay, so what I usually teach student is for this type of question yang you tak tahu apa x, y, z, you straight away read the last baris, see what the last baris ask you to find. So what they will ask you to find, how much invested in each unit. So apa yang dia suruh cari sini, itulah you punya x, y, z. So first step is let your x, y, z equals to, alright, see what they want. They want to find the amount invested in each unit. So make that the x, y, z. So your x will be the invested in each unit of investment. So it will be the amount invested in each unit means in every unit. So x will be amount invested in Arif lah. In Arif. And then y will be amount invested in the Bijak. And then z is amount invested in Cerdik. And you should know that the XYZ should be in RM because these are all amounts. Yeah, dia adalah semua adalah RM. So now we can write our equation. So now I will read again this paragraph and write the 3 equations. So Mirza invested total of 25,000 in each investment unit of Arif, Bijak, Cerdik. Means all to add together. So it will be x plus y plus z is equals to 25,000. That's your first equation. Okay, next line says the total investment of Mirza in the Bijak unit exceeds the Cerdik investment unit by 3,000. Okay, I think this one you have to find the difference. Yeah, because they say Bijak punya investment melebihi Cerdik sebanyak 3,000. Bijak unit exceed Cerdik by 3,000. So Bijak, so you have to find the difference lah. But when you find difference, you have to take besar tolak kecil. So siapa besar sekarang? Bijak yang besar kan, sebab Bijak exceed Cerdik by 3,000. So Bijak besar, so Bijak ambil Y, tapi cari difference kena tolak dengan Cerdik, tolak Z, and the difference is 3,000. That's what it means by Bijak exceeds Cerdik by 3,000. Y minus Z equals 3,000. Okay. Alright. Of course, you can also write differently. You can also write Y equals to 3,000 plus Z. It's the same meaning. It's the same meaning because Bijak invest Cerdik by 3,000 mah. That means Bijak is actually the Cerdik punya tambah with 3,000 lah. Okay. Yeah, because the minus Z you can move over here, right? Okay, I think I write like that. I'll just write like that. Okay? And then the next one is the total return on investment return after 1 year is 1125. Okay, this is not the investment, it's the return on investment. Return dalam bahasa Melayu is pulangan. In other words, return is the profit. Yeah, it's the profit. Okay. Yeah, amount yang you dapat balik lah. Alright, so the total return is 1125. How much invested in each unit? So I think I have to find out the return for each type of investment first. So they remember they got give us the rate of return, right? It's 4.5%. So what we have to do is we take the 4.5% times with the X lah to get the return. Okay, 4.5 divided 100 means it will be 4.5. You take the decimal, you move to the left two times. You divide 100. So you get 0.045 X, of course. And then plus with, for this one also same, divide by 100 because it's percent, 5.2%. So it's 0.052 times with the amount she invested in Bija is Y. And then plus with, same thing, 0.03 Z. And this is how you get the total return. Okay. And they say the total return is 1125. So that's all. Okay. Okay. One thing I want to mention, you have to check carefully whether the question asking you to find return or the matured value. If they ask for matured value, then here you have to do 1.045, 1.052, 1.03. Because matured value means the original amount add with the return, add with the return. But this one, they only say the total return. So we just have to time with the, yeah, just straight away times with the percentage. No need to no need to plus 100. But yeah. All right. So with that being said, let's solve for x, y, z. All right. You can use. There's two method, right? The substitution, penggantian, or penghapusan, elimination. Okay. I think I will just do substitution method. Let me tell you why. Is because from the second equation, it's already y single. So what I will do is I will just sub the y, this y inside here, and then after I sub, then I can go into stage 2 and take this equation and this equation and continue again lah. Okay, so equation 1, equation 2, equation 3. So what I will do is I will sub 2 into 1, and then the other one is sub 2 into 3. Okay, okay, when I sub 2 into 1, I have to look at the equation 1, x plus y plus z, but y have to be replaced later, so I will open the bracket, plus z equals to 25,000, and then the y will be 3,000 plus z. Okay, if I keep going from here, I'll get an equation that has x and z. Okay, and then I will sub 2 into 3. 2 into 3, get another equation with x and z. Okay, then we have two equations with x and z, then we can do simultaneous again lah. All right, so 2 into 3, so this is your equation 3. So write it down, 0.045x plus 0.052y, and then your y will later have to sub, and then plus 0.03z equals to 1125. And then this y, we have to put 3,000 plus z. All right, let's continue down here. So this one just open the bracket, no problem. And then z plus z will just be 2z. And then the 3,000, I think I'll just move it here. 25,000 minus 3,000. Let me press. I got 22,000. So that is your equation 4. And then for this, 0.045x plus, okay, this one you can expand 0.052 times with 3,000. All right, my calculator give me 156, and then times with 0.052 times z is 0.052 z. Yeah, you multiply like this, and then plus with 0.0, oh, what happened? Plus with 0.03 z equals to 1125. Okay. Alright, X dengan X boleh buat, tapi X seorang saja, so tulis sajalah. And then Z dengan Z boleh buat, this one plus this one. So just press, you get 0.082Z. And then finally is the number. Okay, 1125 have to minus 156. So my calculator give me 996. Okay, after reaching here, now you can call this equation 5, and now equation 4 and 5, you have to do the pergantian penghapusan again. So now you have to do stage 2 lah. Okay. The stage 1 is trying to get two equations with two unknowns. Now for stage 2 is to either hilangkan X or hilangkan Z. Alright. Which method I should use? Substitution or elimination? Okay, I think I will use substitution again. Of course, you can do elimination also. Elimination, you samakan the kali for X lah. Maybe you times with 0.045 and then sudah sama and then you tolak. Boleh juga. But I think I will do penggantian. Ya, jadikan X single, right? 22000 minus 2Z. Let's call this equation 5 and then sub 5. Sorry, I should call this 6. And then I sub 6 into 5. Then I can find the Z already. Okay. So I'll just write here sub 6 into 5. So saya punya mata kena tengok 5. And then 0.045 X tu kena buka bracket nanti. Plus 0.082 Z equals to 996. And then the X is the 22,000 minus 2Z. And yeah, you can find your Z from here already. Okay, let's expand this. Kembangkan dulu. So times 22,000. Okay, let me press. Okay, my calculator give me 990. And then 0.045 times 2, that's gonna give you 0.09 Z. Minus lah, 0.09 Z. And then plus with 0.082 Z equals to 996. Okay, how to find Z? Alright, the 990, I'll move it here first. 996 minus 990 is just 6. And then negative 0.09 plus 0.082, that's negative. Okay, why I get negative? Takkanlah you punya Z negative. So I must have did something wrong here. So where is my mistake? Wait, 0.055. Let me check. Mana saya buat salah? Okay, X plus Y plus Z. Y is 3,000 plus Z, correct lah? And then 25,000 minus 3,000. This is correct. And then 2 into 3. 0.052Y plus 0.03Z equals 125. Then 3,000. 0.052 times 3,000. 156. Okay, this is correct. This is correct. X. Okay. Plus 0.03. 0.082. 1125 minus 1. Okay, I know where. This is not 996. It's 969. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I just careless lah. 969, I go and write 996. Yeah, careless. So sorry. Okay, so if this is 969, wait, what it means? 6 into 5. So this is correct. This is correct. This is correct. So 969 minus 990. Okay, then I will not pindah here already. Okay lah, can also lah, pindah here also can lah. Yeah, 969 minus 990 will be negative, right? Yeah, so you get negative 21. And then what about this? Negative 0.09 plus 0.082. Okay, let's press the calculator. Okay, my calculator give me 8 times 10 power negative 3. Okay, the meaning is you have to take, okay, 8 times 10 power negative 3 means you have to take the decimal, move to the left 3 times. The decimal is here. If you don't see the decimal, means the decimal is at the paling kanan here. And then move 3 times, so you get 0.008. But of course, it's Z and it's negative. Yeah, it's negative. If you press this minus this, you get negative. Okay. Okay, so now I can erase this. Now I can find for Z. So I'll just press negative 21, divide negative 0.008. Okay, negative divide negative is positive. And then 21 divide with, the answer is 2625. Okay, and it's positive. Okay, 2625. Okay, now after finding Z, I can find my X. Yeah, just sub into here. So X equals to 22,000 minus 2Z. So here I write when Z equals 2625 and then sub inside here. Now just tekan all this, 22,000. Oh my God, I put an extra zero already. Okay, it's 22,000 minus 2 times 2625. Okay, it's 16750. And now with the exact, now we can find Y. I will start into equation 2 lah. Yeah, it's much more easy, right? So when Z equals to 2625, equation 2, Y equals 3,000 plus Z. So Y equals to 3,000 plus with the 2625 lah. So you get 5625. And that's the answer, right? Okay, now what we have to do now is write down one baris and write all the answers. Okay, the soalan asks us to find how much invested in each unit. So I don't think you can write X equals 16750, Y equals Z equals. So I think it's better you write like this, dot dot dot. Okay, what is the X? Amount invested in Arif. So I'll just write amount invested in Arif. And then the next one would be amount invested in Bijak. And then this one is amount invested in Cerdik. Yeah, because do you remember at first we look at the last baris and see what the question asked to find, right? And then we make that the X, Y, Z. So sekarang kita sudah dapat X, Y, Z. So itulah jawapan you. So you tukar balik jadi apa yang X, Y, Z represents lah. So amount invested in Arif is X. So I have to write RM lah. Because it's amount, right? Okay, amount invested in Bijak. Amount of investment mesti RM. So RM 5625. And then the last one is RM 2625. Okay, then you'll get full mark. All right, that's all for this question. Okay, let's do number 2. What chapter is this? Definitely vector. So it's from 4, chapter 8. Diagram 1 shows a parallelogram OABC. All right, parallelogram means these two lines will be parallel and atas bawah punya line pun parallel. And not only the opposite side are parallel, they are also sama panjang. Okay, they are also sama panjang also. So when two lines sama panjang and parallel means they will have the exact same vector. Yeah. So if they give you information, you can see here OA is X. That means automatic your CB will be X also. Yeah. Because the CB and the OA line, they are both parallel and also sama panjang. When they are both parallel and sama panjang, that means the vector is exactly the same. Vector OC is Y, so you know the AB will be Y also. Same for the same reason. Because these two lines are parallel, and not only that, they are also sama panjang. Okay. All right, OB extended to B such that OB equals BD. Okay, let's draw some lines. OB line is extended to D. So they are collinear lah. Yeah, they're collinear. Collinear means segaris. So, and then OB equals BD. So it means the ratio is 1, 1 here. It means B is the midpoint lah. But I don't think I'll be using the midpoint formula because this is not a coordinate geometry question. It's a vector question. So yeah, definitely won't be using the point C formula. Okay, and then OA is extended to E such that AE is half of OA. OA is extended to E. Alright, I have to draw a line again. This time let's use red color. OA extended to E such that the ratio is given AE is half OA. So AE is ratio 1 and it's half of OE. So sorry, OA. So this one is 2 lah. Yeah, because AE is half of OA mah. So AE over OA is 1 over 2 lah. That means your AE ratio OA is 1 ratio 2 lah. So your AE is 1, OA is 2. Yeah, correct. So I can find AE vector lah. Because OA vector is X. And it's 2 portion. So AE vector will be the X divided by 2 lah. So it's X over 2. Okay. And I don't care if the question never asked me, I don't care if the question never asked me to find this, I'll just find it myself like that. And trust me, it will end up helping me later on. Okay, the lines CE and AD intersect at point X. CE AD. CE AD. Oh my god, I have to draw again. Let's use another color, maybe black color. Okay, CE and AD. Oh my god, now the diagram become complicated already. Intersect at point X. Okay, this one I erase first lah. Yeah, this one later I erase first. Later when I need it, baru I come back and draw it. Okay, so yeah, because it's confusing if I draw it now. So let's do A1 first. Ada lagi, given AX is PAD. Okay, this information I tak dapat label because dia tak bagi nilai P. Yeah, nilai P will be the ratio for AX AD, but they never give me, so I can't label it. And then CX equals QCE also same, can't label this because they never give us nilai Q. Kalau dia bagi nilai Q, then kita boleh tahulah ratio untuk CX, CE, tapi tak bagi, so tak tahu. And then tiba-tiba find number 1 AX in terms of PXY, number 2 AX in terms of QXY. Maksudnya soalan number 1 nak cari AX, soalan number 2 pun kena cari AX also. But the number 2 question is in terms of QXY. This one is in terms of P. Okay, XY tu tak payah tengok sebab XY tu memang automatic ada dekat diagram dah. Yang tu memang akan ada. Tapi PQ tu tak ada dekat diagram. So that means when you do question number 1, you have to refer the information yang ada P. which is this one lah, this one. And then when you do number 2, you have to refer this one. Okay. All right. So let's write down the information that we must use first. AX equals PAD. Yeah. If you want your answer to have P, you must use this. Okay. All right. So let's look at the information. AX equals to PAD, and I'm trying to find AX. All right. You can see AX and AX is already the same vector. Sudah sama kan? So kalau sudah sama, kita boleh terus sub saja AX equals PAD, and then the AD we cari from the diagram. So A to D is here to here, right? So I have to go like that. So if I go like that, that means I can go AO plus OD, right? AO I have already the vector, but OD how? Okay, I can find OB first, and then times 2, right? Because OB, yeah, you can find here y plus x, and then times 2 because the ratio is 1, 1. Yeah, 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 yeah. So let's do that. AO plus OD. And then it would be P times AO. Okay, OA is X, AO should be negative X plus OD. Okay, OD is OB times 2. So I will find OB first, and OB is Y plus X. Yeah, because it's here plus here, right? So I'll just write Y plus X, or you can write X plus Y, whatever. But times 2, so it becomes 2X plus 2Y. And then X dengan X boleh buat. Negative 1 plus 2 is just positive 1. So it's 1X, but I have to times P, right? So it will be PX. And then the 2Y times P will just be 2PY. And that's the answer. And as you can see, the answer is in terms of P. Yeah. Now let's do question 2. AX in terms of QXY. Okay, this time I am also finding AX. I'm also finding AX, but this time they want in terms of Q. Okay, in terms of Q. So I have to use this information no matter what. CX equals to QCE. But I'm trying to find AX. So let's look at the information. CX equals to QCE. Okay, if you look at CE and AX, they don't have any connection. Okay, because this is A to X, this is C to E, they don't have any connection at all. But if you look at the CX and the AX, there's some connection here. Because A to X, C to X, what is the missing line here? So A to X, okay, the X is not here, but I'll draw it. Yeah, because you remember they told you, right? The point X is the intersection of CE and AD. So AD is this one, CD, CE, okay, CE, like that. All right, so this is your point X. So, uh, they want to find AX. We want to find AX, this one. And the information that we must use is CX. So what do you think I have to do? You can do AC plus CX lah. Yeah, sebab you nak jawapan you ada Q means you have to include this jalan. So kalau you nak include this jalan, you have to go A to C dulu, baru boleh C to X. Yeah. Then only the CX you can ganti with the QCE. And then AC you cari, CE you cari, then you punya jawapan boleh ada Q lah. Okay, A to C apa? Negative X plus Y. Okay, negative X plus Y. Because A to C is AO plus OC. So it's negative X plus Y. Ya, kena tukar tanda sebab dia punya arrow is opposite direction. Okay, so now it becomes negative X plus Y and then plus with Q times with the CE vector. Okay, CE vector, I can go CO plus OE lah. So OC is Y, CO will be negative Y plus X over 2. So it will be negative Y plus 1X plus 1 over 2X, which is plus 3 over 2X lah. Yeah, you can use your calculator. 1 plus 1 over 2 is 3 over 2. Okay. All right, now let's just simplify this. Negative X plus Y. Okay, the Q have 2 times inside, so it becomes negative QY plus 3 over 2 QX. Okay, but don't stop your answer like that. When we write vector, we always want it to write like this. 1X, 1Y macam ni. So how to jadikan yang ni 1X, 1Y? We factor lah. So yang ada X we factor. So X dengan X we factor, we left with negative 1 plus 3 over 2 cube. And then yang ni ada Y, kita boleh write plus bracket Y like that. And when we factorize out the Y, we left with negative 1 minus Q. Okay. Alright, so wait. Macam salah aja. Okay, this one is plus. Oh my god, this one is plus. So it should, when I factor, it should be 1 minus Q. Yeah, it should be 1 because this one is negative X plus Y. Yeah, I see that. So it should be 1 minus Q. Okay. All right, this is the correct answer. Okay, I already finished the A1, A2. Now the B. Hence, find the values of P and Q. Okay, this is very easy. Just use the A1, A2 answer because only the A1, A2 answer has P and Q. All right, so the A1 answer and the A2 answer are both vector AX. All right, let me circle it for you. This is vector AX. This is also vector AX. That means these two can equal. I can take this answer equal to this answer. And when I equal, how to find the PQ? We will bundling the kali X and the kali Y. Yeah, we'll compare whatever before X and whatever before X here. So it will be P equals to -1 plus 3 over 2Q. Okay, P equals -1 plus 3 over 2Q. And then for the other one is the Y, the number before Y compare with whatever before Y. Yeah, just compare. So it becomes 2P equals 1 minus Q. All right. Since both equation has two unknowns, so we have to do the simultaneous equation. So you can either use the substitution method or elimination method. Okay, I think I'll just substitute lah because this one P sudah single already. So why not just put it inside this P, -1 plus 3 over 2Q equals 1 minus Q. And then just kembang, then you can find Q. 2 times -1 is -2. 2 times 3 over 2 is just 3Q equals 1 minus Q. 3Q plus Q is 4Q. 1 plus 2 is 3Q equals 3 over 4. Sub back inside, P equals -1 plus 3 over 2Q is 3 over 4. Cut. -1 plus 3 over 2 is -2 over 2 plus 3 over 2 is +1 over 2. So that's the answer. P and Q. Okay. Alright. Sudah siap. Okay. So, this one is 3 over 4, right? So -1 plus 3 over 2. Uh, Wait. How come this 3 and 4 cut? Oh my god. Oh my god. Guys, I don't know what I'm doing. This 3 and 4 cannot cut, right? And you cannot cut the 3 also because they both dekat atas. Yeah, so memang tak boleh cut lah this one. You have to times sendiri. Atas darab atas, bawah darab bawah. So 3 times 3 is 9. 2 times 4 is 8 like that. And then P equals -1, which is -8 over 8 plus 9 over 8. Okay, -8 over 8 plus 9 over 8 is +1 over 8. Okay, ini baru betul. Yeah, I made a careless mistake. Okay, so this is how you do it. Okay, alright, hope you understand. Let's continue. Okay, number 3. So let's read the question and see which chapter first. Okay, I think it's progression. Yeah, nth row, right? Okay, so Form 4, chapter 5, Janjang, and progression. Okay, a city planner wants to decorate a park by arranging several rows of flower pots as shown in diagram 2. So you have row 1, row 2, row 3. Okay, the first row has 5 pots. Oh, this one is the first row. Oh no, this one. Okay, so this one is the first row. Then this must be the second. This must be the third lah. Okay, the second row has 8 pots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then third row has 11. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Yeah. And the number of pots in the sequence rows increase uniformly. Yes. Because from n equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 8 to 11. So from here to here plus 3. This one also plus 3. So every consequent row, they plus 3 pot. Okay. So A says find the number of pots in the nth row. All right, just find the Tn. Okay. Okay, the first term will be 5. Second term is 8. Third term is 11. And it forms an arithmetic progression. So the A is 5. The difference is 3. Yeah, you should always write the A and D and write the progression whenever you're doing the progression question. Okay, now you can find the Tn. So later your answer will be in terms of n lah, because they ask to find the nth row, so we don't have the n, so your answer will be in terms of n. But it's okay because we have the AD. Okay, the formula for Tn is A plus n minus 1D. So later the A and D we can masukkan, but the n I will just leave it. Okay, so it becomes 5 plus n minus 1 times 3. Okay, 3 times n minus 1, 3n minus 3, and then the 5 minus 3 becomes 2 plus 3n. All right, that's your A answer. B, if the total number of pots does not exceed 1,500, does not exceed means smaller or equals, tak melebihi. What is the maximum number of rows that can be arranged? All right, The keyword is this word right here, total number. So the total number of pots does not exceed. It means this one plus this one plus this one plus until don't know how many rows, cannot exceed 1,500. So when you plus all these pots in a row, you are actually finding the SN. Okay, and the SN does not exceed, so smaller or equals 1500. Okay, that's what it means by total number of pots not exceed 1,500. Total means you have to jumlahkan. Okay, so it has to be T1 plus T2 plus T3 plus don't know how many, don't know the n, but it cannot be exceed 1,500. Okay, maximum means you have to choose the answer that is smaller equals little. Okay, all right, so let's find out the n first. Okay, the formula for Sn is n over 2 big bracket 2a plus n minus 1b. Okay, okay, but there is a chance for your n to be decimal later. Okay, if your n answer come out decimal later, then you have to take the maximum, because n tak boleh ada decimal. N is the bilangan term, the number. So dia tak boleh ada decimal, dia tak boleh ada negative, tak boleh ada fraction. Okay. Okay, okay, let's use the formula now. So n nak cari, so just write n over 2 big bracket 2a, the a is 5 plus n minus 1, d is 3. And then the whole thing smaller equals 1,500. Okay, the n over 2, I write it. 2 times 5 is 10 plus this one kembang 3n minus 3 tutup bracket 1,500. Okay, dalam boleh buat lagi. 10 minus 3 is 7, right? But the 7, I have to write it like this. Okay, what I will do is for the n over 2, the over 2, I will bring it over here jadi times 2. So it becomes 30,000. Yeah, because dia duduk bawah kan. Duduk bawah means bagi 2, hantar jadi darab. But the n I will not hantar. The n I will kebang masuk instead. Okay. Alright, so it becomes 7n plus 3n square smaller equals 3,000. Oh, it becomes a quadratic, right? And it's a quadratic inequality sebab smaller kan. So bila buat quadratic inequality, kita boleh guna graph sketching method. So later you have to sketch the graph lah. But we have to find out the n value first. So first thing is everything on one side equals 0 and then dapatkan nilai n dulu. So 3n square plus 7n. The 3,000 move here jadi minus 3,000 smaller equals 0. Okay, sekarang sudah tak boleh simplify, kita boleh tekan calculator and see what we get for the n. So the A tekan 3, B tekan 7. Wait. Alright, so again, A is 3, B is 7, C is negative 3,000. Okay, my calculator give me 30.47762367. Okay, the answer cannot change to fraction, right? Yeah, so when you end up with an answer yang tak boleh tukar fraction, it means this is a jawapan yang tak cantik. That means we have to solve it using another method, the quadratic formula method. Yeah, we cannot use the factorization method. Okay, so we have to do it the quadratic formula. Okay, so before I do the quadratic formula, I will just change the smaller to equal first. To make things easier, just change it to equal first. But of course, after later you find your n value, you still have to do the graph sketching method because it's an inequality after all. So you have to consider you have to use the graph sketching method because we are dealing with inequalities, quadratic inequalities. Okay, but let's just change to equal to make things easy and to find the n first. Okay, all right, so the formula for quadratic formula is n equals to negative b plus minus square root b square minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, over 2a. So the bb is 7, the aa is 3, the c is negative 3,000, like that. So now we can use our calculator to get the discriminant. The discriminant means the b squared minus 4ac lah. Alright, so your n will be negative 7, and then 2 times 3 is 6 plus minus square root. Okay, the b squared minus 4ac, if you tekan, you will get the discriminant 36049. Now, you will press negative 7 plus square root 36049 over 6, and you will get 30.48. Let's write 4 significant figures lah. Okay, and the other one is negative 32.81. Okay, this one is when you tekan negative 7 minus square root 36049 over 6. Okay, all right. Which one we have to reject? Well, actually both also cannot. Both also cannot. You know why? Because n memang tak boleh ada decimal. But don't forget, this is a inequalities. And do you know if just now I changed to equal, right? Yeah, because you cannot write smaller, 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 smaller like that. It's wrong. Okay, it's wrong. Okay, I just use the quadratic formula to get the n value first. Now I have to consider the inequality symbol. So what we have to do is do the graph sketching method. And after doing the graph sketching method, we shade the region. Okay, the small number have to write here, negative, and then the positive big number right here. And we have to do the shading. Okay, if the symbol is smaller, you shade in between here. If it's bigger, you have to shade dua kawasan sini. Okay, but now it's smaller, right? So we have to shade in between. And the answer will be n in between negative 32.81 and 30.48. Okay, all right. Actually, you will only take here. You only take this as the solution. And I have to write the equals, other equal sign, right? Sebab sini ada equal. Alright, so you will only take this part, n smaller equals 30.48. You know why? Because n memang tak boleh ada negative. Yeah, n tak boleh ada negative. So any value from the negative 32.81 to 0, all this one cannot take. You understand, right? That means you only take this, like take this for your solution. But your n should be what? Smaller equals 30.48, right? Remember they say what is the maximum number of rows that can be arranged. So the number of rows cannot have decimal. Okay, cannot have decimal. So what is the maximum value yang dia boleh pergi? 30 lah. Yeah, 30. Okay. Not because of the 0.4. It's 30 not because of the 0.4. It's because of the sign smaller. Okay. Kita bukan tengok ini tau. We have to look at the sign. So smaller equals 30.48. If you take 31, 31 is already more than 30.48. But they say the n must be smaller than this. So you should choose smaller than it, which is 30. But why not choose 29? Because maximum. So the maximum is 30. That's the answer. Okay. All right. So let me just repeat one more time. Why I reject all the negative is because n tak boleh negative. And why I take 30 is because tak boleh ada decimal. And the symbol is smaller. So we choose the nearest integer that is smaller equals to this, which is 30. Okay. So that's how I would do it. Okay. Hope you understand. All right, let's do A. A number 4. Okay, this one is other sin cos tan, so confirm is the from 5 chapter 6. It's called the trigonometry. Okay, so number A, I think I will just prove it up here. Okay, hopefully it's enough space lah. All right, so we have proved that this one equals to this. All right, for trigonometry question, memang ada 4 jenis soalan. So first jenis is they ask you to find something theta. Second type is they will ask you to find theta. Okay, and then third type is the proving question. Fourth type is the sketch question. So this one is the proving question lah. Okay, for proving question, you have to start from the more complicated side, and then you try to use the formula and change so that it becomes the other side. Okay, okay. If I start from the right hand side, it will be very difficult because right hand side there's nothing much you can change. The only thing you can change is the tangent change to sine over cos lah. That's all. You cannot use basic identities because tak ada square, and you cannot use double angle because tak ada double angle sini, and you cannot use addition angle. That's why it's not really recommended to start from the right hand side. But starting from left hand side is good because you can see the 2x here, the 2x here. That means you can use double angle. Okay, so I'll start from the left hand side. So the left hand side is negative 2 sine 2x over cos 2x plus 1. And let's try to change this so that it becomes negative 2 tangent x. Okay, even though I'm changing from left to right, but I can do a bit working on the right also. Because I know the negative 2 tangent is negative 2 sine x over cos x. So it's recommended to look at what you want also. And try to change it if possible so that we have more option. Yeah, we can either change this to this or we can change it to this also can, right? But I'll tell you now, it will be much more easy to change it to this because your your left hand side is like other sine other cos, so it's much more better to change it to this then only change to the negative tangent x. Okay, so let me draw the line. All right, I can use the double angle formulas for sine 2x and cos 2x. Okay, sine 2x dia boleh tukar jadi 2 sine x cos x. And then cos 2x dia boleh ada tukar jadi 3. First is the cos square minus sine square. And then dia boleh tukar jadi 2 cos square minus 1. And then 1 minus 2 sine square. Okay. Yeah, I memorized already lah. That's why I'm able to write all this down. Okay, but this is given in the exam. Yeah, it's given in the formula. Okay. Okay, anyways, let's try to change the sign to x. Okay, definitely we have to change because if you look at the answer you want, dia bukan 2x, dia 1x saja. So definitely we have to change, right? And there's not much to choose. Is sin 2x boleh tukar 1 je, 2 sin x cos x. So I'll just change like that. Okay. Okay, now the cos 2x plus 1 definitely have to change also because I want it to be 1x, not 2x. So I can use the double angle formula. But you have three choices here. Which one you should change? Okay, I'll tell you now. I'll change this one. 2 cos square x minus 1. Okay. Some of you might ask, sir, why? Well, it's because my eyes are looking at this. Saya punya mata tengok sini. I'm looking at what I want. So what I want is atas ada sin, bawah ada cos. That's why I choose the one with the cos only. Okay. So everything I do, there's a reason for it. So the reason why is because I plan ahead. I already look at what I want. Okay. Okay, negative 1 plus 1 will just be 0, and then you're left with 2 cos square x minus 1, right? Then what about atas here? Okay, atas here, the negative 2 you can times 2. So it becomes negative 4 sine x cos x. But the negative 1 tak ada already, right? Yeah, because negative 1 plus 1 0 already. Yeah, so just left it like that lah. Okay, so now I can already see how to change this to this already. It's quite easy actually. Just potong, right? Negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. Sine x cannot divide. Dia seorang saja. Cos x and cos square x, you will divide left with cos x bawah lah. Yeah, because when you cut, it will be like this, right? Okay. Because it's like that, cos x over cos square, so it's like that, cos x dua kali. So when you cut left with satu cos x dekat bawah lah. That's why you left with one cos x dekat bawah. Okay. Alright, so as you can see, this one is already same with this, right? But it's not done yet. You still have to write one more baris, which is negative 2, and then sine over cos is tangent x. Okay, now it's already the right hand side. So you can write proven lah. Sudah siap. Okay. Okay, let me make some space. Okay, so dot 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 proven. Alright, let's do B1. Okay, B1, they say sketch the graph of y equals negative 2 tangent x for x between 0 and 2 pi. Okay, if you look at the A question, negative 2 tangent x can change to this thing, right? But will I change it? No lah. Because we're trying to sketch. If you change to this, imagine trying to sketch this. Gila lah, this one, how to sketch. Because you usually when you sketch, you want the equation to only have either one trigo. It's either the sine or cos or tangent. When it's like that, how you supposed to sketch, right? So it's better to sketch the simplified version of the equation. So the simplified version is the negative 2 tangent x. Okay, and they also say draw between x 0 to 2 pi. So draw until 360 lah. Okay, so how do you do this is first we have to know the shape first. After knowing the shape, we have to know the coordinates. Okay, yeah, the exact coordinate. So let's talk about the shape. If you don't know the shape, you can't sketch. Okay, what's the shape of the negative 2 tangent x graph? Okay, let's draw the normal tangent graph first. The normal tangent graph, everyone should know this. It will look like this. And dekat mana dia punya dotted line? 90 and 180. Itu normal tangent graph, 90 and 180. Okay, let's write in radian. Pi over 3 pi over 2. And then this one is 180, which is pi. The total line is 90 and 270. I said 90 and 180. Sorry, I silap cakap. So total line should be at 90 and 270. And then the middle here is pi. This one is 2 pi lah. And there's no maximum value, minimum value for tangent graph. So this is how it looks like for tangent x. But now we have to modify a bit because we have to do 2 tangent x, actually negative 2 tangent x. Okay, kalau cara saya ajar, saya akan ajar tengok satu-satu kan. I never teach to straight away do negative 2. So we tengok the 2 first. Okay, what the 2 means is basically they want you to tukar you punya maximum value and minimum value tukar jadi 2 negative 2. Okay, but since the tangent graph tak ada maximum minimum value, so we can ignore that. Okay. Yeah, if it's a sine x or cos x graph, then that means you have to change the maximum minimum value from 1 negative 1 to 2 negative 2. Because the sine cos graph maximum minimum value is 1 negative 1, right? But for tangent, there's no maximum minimum value, so we can ignore that. So the 2 is basically just useless lah. Okay? In other words, 2 tangent x, 3 tangent x, 5 tangent x, 1 million tangent x will give you the same thing. Okay, because tangent x the other maximum minimum value. So we can look at the negative now, and we all know negative means terbalik kan. So terbalik means everything have to flip upside down. In other words, reflect the whole thing using the x-axis. So when you reflect this, you get this. When you reflect this, you get this. When you reflect this, you get this. You get this. And of course, this has to erase lah. So now that we know the shape, and do we know the exact coordinates? Yes. Yeah, it's from here already. That those are the exact coordinate. So with the two information, I know the shape and I know the coordinates. Now we can sketch already, no problem. Okay, the x-axis definitely have to draw in the middle like this, and then this is 0, x, y. Okay, remember not to write anything on the y-axis. Okay, but the x-axis you have to potong 4 kali lah. This is the pi over 2, this is the pi, this is the 3 pi over 2, this is the 2 pi. And then for the dotted lines, okay, for tangent graph, I always recommend draw the dotted line. Before drawing the graph, draw the dotted line first. So it will be at 90 and 270. Yeah, because it's tangent 1x. When it's tangent 1x, the dotted line will be at 90 to 70. If it's tangent dual x, then it will be at 45 and 135 already. Yeah, because if it's tangent to x means you have to compress the graph. And when you compress, the dotted line will get pushed, pushed back. Yeah. Okay, so the point will be here, here, and here. But instead of going like normally go up, you have to go down because got negative. And then this one is like this one is like this one is like this. So that is your y equals negative 2 tangent x. Okay, now we can do the second question. Hence, by using the same axis, draw a suitable straight line to find number of solution. Yeah, this one memang exam suka tanya one lah. They always ask to sketch and then find number of solution. Okay, number of solution means the number of intersection point. Berapa kali dia intersect. For the equation, this one, for 0 to pi, state the number of solution. Okay, first, okay, what they want us to do is draw a straight line here. Draw a straight line. And then kira ada berapa titik persilangan. Count how many times the straight line touches this tangent graph. Okay. But before drawing the straight line first, we need the equation of straight line first. But the equation yang dia bagi is not the equation of straight line. Okay, the equation of straight line should be y equal mx plus c. But the equation yang dia bagi sangat teruk. Y pun tak ada. Okay, like not even the y also, the y also tak ada dekat sini. So now my job is to tukar supaya equation ni ada y lah. But macam mana nak jadi ada y? Very easy. Refer to the previous question. Yeah, refer yang atas. So you can see negative 2 sine 2x cos 2x plus what? If you refer here, you realize that it's the same. That means this whole thing is negative 2 tangent x equals to 3x over 2 pi. And kenapa I tukar jadi negative 2 tangent x? Because y is negative 2 tangent x. I told you right, my job is to jadikan dia ada y. So sudah jadi ada y lah. And after jadi ada y, now we have our equation of straight line. Now it's time to find some points and then draw the line in the y-axis, x-axis. Okay, this is definitely a straight line because the x duduk atas. If one day you see the x duduk bawah, then it's not a straight line already. It will be a reciprocal graph, and that one is a curve. Yeah, that one when you draw is a curve. But this one is definitely straight line. Yeah, y equal mx plus c, right? Okay, but the c will be 0 lah. So when you sub x0, definitely you get y0. The other point you can maybe sub 2 pi. Pi also can, but I have sub 2 pi lah. So 2 pi, okay, 2 pi cut already, so your y is 3. So 0, 0 is here. Okay, the 2 pi 3, I can just jadikan 1.3 dekat sini. And then 2 pi 3 is just here. Okay, and then just draw a line joining the 2 points. And don't forget to write the equation of the line, y equals 3x over 2 pi. And finally, you can write the NOS, the number of solutions. So you can count out how many times they intersect. So you have 1 time, 2 time, 3 times. So the NOS is 3 solutions. You don't have to find out the coordinate of the intersection. No need. They only ask for the number of solution. They never ask to find the solution. They just say state the number of solution. So the number of solution is 3. Okay. All right. One more thing I want to mention. What if the 3 I put very high up here? Yeah, because we don't know where's the 3, right? So imagine the 3 I put high up here. Then if I draw, then it's not 3 solution, right? It's only 2 solution. Okay. Then some student will say, hey, sir, you see it's 2 solution. No, it's 3 solution also. Because this tangent graph, it will extend until infinity. So eventually it will touch this, right? Yeah, eventually it will touch because it will just keep going up. It will touch also. So it doesn't matter how high you put the tree or how low you put the tree, you will end up with tree solution, no matter what. Okay. Yeah. So that's why the answer is three lah. Okay. Hope you understand. I'm done. How many marks? 2 marks, 6 marks. So 8 marks for this. All right. Let's continue. Okay. For 5A, I will do it up here. Okay. What chapter is this? Quadratic. Yeah, Form 4, Chapter 2. Okay, so 5A. Given the straight line y equals x plus p intersects with the curve x squared plus y squared minus 2 equals 0 at point M and point N, find the range of values of p. Okay, let's write down the information first. We have the first information. This is the equation of straight line, SL. SL stands for straight line. Okay, this is the equation of straight line. Intersects the curve x squared plus y squared minus 2 equals 0. Okay, let me tell you something. This is the equation of circle. Yeah, when you see the equation either x square and y square, x put another square, y put another square, means it is a circle. Okay. Yeah, but I call it curve here, right? Okay, it's not important lah, but I just want you to know that it's a circle. When you plot this out in a graph paper, you get a circle. Okay. Okay, they say this line and this curve intersect at point M, point N. So let me just draw it using diagram so you understand. So let's say this is the circle and the straight line like that, and it will intersect at 2 points, point M and point N. And then they say find the range of values of P. Okay, usually when we do intersection, when we're trying to find intersection point, we will do simultaneous, right? But the question never asks for that. They ask to find range of values of P. And also when you see the word range, that means your answer will have the symbol bigger or smaller or in between. Yeah, in Addmaths, when they say cari julat, cari range, maksudnya you punya jawapan mesti ada smaller or bigger. So if you do simultaneous to find the intersection point, it's wrong lah. They never ask to find the point MN also. Okay. So what we have to do, b squared minus 4ac bigger than 0. Yeah, because you can see the line cuts the curve at two different points. Okay, so what we have to do is do simultaneous. After doing simultaneous, gabung jadi satu equation, then do b squared minus 4ac bigger than 0. That's the only way to find the range of p. Okay, so let's do it now. So I think I'll just do cara penggantian sebab y sudah single. So just ganti masuk saja. So dia akan jadi x square tambah dengan y square minus 2 equals 0. Okay, the y I have to sub lah. X plus b. Okay, now I have to kembang and then tukar jadi general form. And then do b square minus 4ac bigger 0. Okay, x square tambah dengan, okay, yang ni kembang you dapat x square tambah 2px tambah p square. And then minus 2 equals 0. X square plus x square is 2x square. And then the next thing I have to write 2px and then plus p square minus 2 equals 0. Okay, the p walaupun dia ada square tapi dia kena tulis dekat c. Dia bukan a, sebab dia p square, dia tak ada x. Dia bukan x, dia p. So dia duduk dekat C lah. Alright, after having this, now you can do the b square minus 4ac bigger 0. Kenapa bigger 0? Sebab 2 point. Sebab 2 intersection. So 2 lah. Alright, so let's do the b square minus 4ac bigger than 0. b is 2p. A is 2. C is p square minus 2. Alright, 2p square, when you expand, you get 4p square. Alright, so high chance you will get a quadratic inequality later. Yeah, and if it's a quadratic inequality later, you have to do the graph sketching method. Yeah. So negative 4 times 2 is negative 8 times p square is negative 8p square. And then negative 8 times with the negative 2 will be negative 8 times positive 16. And then bigger than 0. Okay, p square dengan p square boleh buat. 4 minus 8 is negative 4p square plus 16 is bigger than 0. Okay, as you can see, this is a quadratic inequality because you will end up with 2 answers. So later, definitely have to do the graph sketching method. Okay. Alright, so first thing is get rid of the negative. Very easy, just bahagi negative. This one also bahagi negative. And when you bahagi negative, tukar tanda lah. Okay, when you bahagi negative, the 0 also have to bahagi negative 1. But when you take 0 divide negative 1, you get 0. And when you take this number divide negative, the symbol have to terbalik. Bigger kena jadi smaller. And now you reach here, you can factorize. Okay, for this type, I will not use the calculator to factorize. I'll just factorize myself. Let me show how I do it. First is divide by 4 because they both can divide by 4. So it becomes p square minus 4 smaller than 0. And since we have differences in squares, because the 4 can change to 2 square, right? So when we have differences in square, we can open 2 bracket and then write p2, 1 minus 1 plus. Okay. So your P is equals to 2, your P is equals to -2. Okay. But this one, you cannot write smaller here. Okay, you have to write equal, and then now use the graph sketching method to find the range of P. Alright, so make space. Now I will do the graph sketching method. The small number right here, -2, big number right here, and then we have to lorate mana? Smaller means lorate sini, bawah tengah. So now we can write the answer. So the range of P should be in between -2 and 2. Okay, dia punya inequalities ini tak ada equal kan? So you tak payah letak equal also lah. So that's all. So that's it. Okay, let's do B. So given quadratic function fx is 3. Okay, I think I will terus susun jadi general form. -2x squared plus 5x plus 3. Okay. Alright. Now, number 1, by using method of completing the square, express fx in the form of this such that a, p, q are constant. Okay, this is definitely under 2.3. Yeah, because they want to change vertex form. Yeah, so I have to do completing the square. Okay, this one we call it vertex form. But now your equation is in general form, so you have to do completing the square. Alright, when doing completing the square, we have to make sure a is +1. Kalau tak boleh buat completing the square. So I have to divide everything by -2. But the -2 you have to write outside the bracket. So you left with x squared. 5 divided by -2 is -5/2x. 3 divided by -2 is -3/2. And after that, now you can do the completing the square. So -2 big bracket. Okay, this big bracket very important. Yeah, the -2, the big bracket sangat penting. So I tulis siap-siap sangat penting big bracket. Because at last, nanti last kali you kena ambil -2 darat masuk. So the big bracket very important. So the x, now I have to do completing the square. So what I have to do is I have to tambah bracket square sini and then minus bracket square sini. Okay. So let's write that now. X square minus 5/2x. Okay, leave some empty space here, -3/2, and then leave some empty space to top bracket. Okay, here I have to write plus bracket square, here I have to write minus bracket square. Yeah. And then inside bracket, you have to write b/2. Okay, for the b, refer beside here. So it's -5/2, so it becomes -5/2 over 2. But don't write like that. I will just write -5/2 times 1/2. Yeah, it's the same thing. Divide 2 means times 1/2 lah. So -5/2 divide 2, right? So times 1/2 lah, same thing. Okay, now we have to ignore this. Yeah, ignore this. Just look at this and this. Okay, they both have square. So what you write? You write bracket. Yang x square means the x tulis dalam, square right outside the bracket. And then this one, yang dalam, is -5/2 times 1/2, which is -5/4. Yeah, atas darab atas, bawah darab bawah. Tapi tak payah square, because the square already right outside. Okay. And then -3/2 minus, okay, -5/2 times 1/2, you know already is -5/4. But this time you have to square. So -5/square will be +25/16. Yeah, +25/16. But you have to write minus because there's one more negative outside the bracket. So after you reach here, okay, ini dengan ni boleh buat. So kita buat dulu. So it becomes x minus 5/4 square. And the big bracket still have to write. The big bracket very important. Okay, -3/2 minus 25/16. That gives us -49/16. And then close the big bracket. Okay, now we have to take the -2 kembang dalam masuk. Kembang masuk. Yeah, you can see the vertex form. Walaupun dia punya nampak macam sudah sama kan, tapi belum lagi. Yeah, the vertex form cannot have the big bracket one. So it's not done yet. We have to take -2 dalam masuk. Okay, the -2 cannot go inside this small bracket because this small bracket have square. Yeah, it has square. So the -2 cannot times inside the bracket. That's why we have to just write outside like that. Okay. So we will just times, but when we times, we only times, when we times, we just write outside like that lah. And then the -2 times -49/16 will be +49/8. Alright. Yeah, so that's all for the answer because they only asked to express in vertex form. So that's the answer lah. Your A is the -2, your P is the -5/4, your Q is the 49/8. Okay. And when it's vertex form, you can actually baca dia punya turning point. Okay, but the question never say, right? They just asked to write in the vertex form, so that's all. Okay, let's do number 2. Sketch the graph of fx for x between 0 and 5. Okay, I need a lot of space for this. Alright, it's good I have space here. Alright, so the equation is fx, which is this one lah. Okay, so we already have the general form and the vertex form, so that's good. And also they want to sketch from 0 to 5. It means they want the first point x coordinate to be 0 and the last point x coordinate to be 5. Okay, let's make a table. Let's do a table, and then we know the first point has to be x0. Okay, this is x, this is fx. So the first point, the x should be 0, and then the last point should be 5. Okay. Okay, why I have to find some other points? Okay, when we sketch graph, of course, if they give you the range of x, you have to consider that and find out what's the first point and the last point. But you also should always find the x-intercept and y-intercept. Yeah, those are the important points you need to find it. So the x-intercept and the y-intercept. And if it's a quadratic, you better find the turning point also. If it's a quadratic lah, if it's a straight line, why you need to find turning point, right? Straight line, mana ada turning point. So this one you have to get the turning point. Alright, so I will make two more column. One for the x-intercept, y-intercept. So ganti x kosong, y kosong. But did you realize this one is also x kosong, this one is also x kosong. That means you don't have to do this already. Yeah, that means your y-intercept and your first point is the same point. That's what it means. So this is your first point, but at the same time it's also the y-intercept. So we don't have to do two times. And then this one is for the x-intercept, and then this one is for the last point. So one more is for the turning point lah, because this is a quadratic. Alright, so the turning point you can butcher from here. The TP is okay for the x coordinate you can refer here, but when you take it out you have to tukar tanda. So jadi 5/4. And then 49/8, that's the y coordinate. Okay, this turning point is minimum or maximum? Alright, the A is negative, so it should be maximum point because A negative means the shape is like this. So it's maximum. Okay, 5/4, 49/8, I will write it here. So this one is the TB, turning point. And then later this will give you the y-intercept. This one will be x-intercept, and then this one is the last point. Okay. Okay, so let's ganti x kosong dalam sini. So if you ganti x kosong dapat 3 lah, alamak. So done already. Okay, what if you ganti y kosong? Okay, so we have to solve for this. Negative 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. So it will be negative 2x squared plus 5x plus 3, whole thing equals 0. Alright, to solve this, you have to use your calculator and you'll get two answers, right? But before pressing calculator, we have to make sure depan tak ada negative dulu. So tukar tanda, tukar tanda, tukar tanda. And when you tukar tanda, you are actually dividing everything by -1. So 0, there -1, 0 also. And then now get the x answer from here. Alright, my calculator give me -1/2 and 3. Wait, let me check with my calculator. 2, -5, -3. Okay, they give you 3 and -1/2. Yalah, betul lah. Alright, so the atas the bracket have to write x minus 3. And then this one darat balik jadi 2x minus 1 hantar balik jadi plus 1. Okay, so there is two answer, -1/2 and 3. But you have to ignore this answer. You have to ignore this answer. You know why? Because they want you to sketch from x between 0 and 5. So any value that is beyond the range, we don't take. So if your x is lesser than 0, don't take. Only take x value that is bigger than 0 but smaller than 5. So negative 0.5 is already, it's already outside the range. So we don't take that. But the 3 can take. Yeah, because the x3 is between 0 and 5. Okay. Alright, for the last one, x5 just sub inside lah. Okay. So it becomes -2x squared plus 5x plus 3. This one is 5. Okay, you should press all this. -50 plus 25 plus 3. Alright, I got -22. So that is the y coordinate. Alright. After we already finished finding all the important points, all the x-intercept, y-intercept, turning point, first point, last point, everything is here already. Now we can sketch. Okay, when I sketch, I always draw the y-axis, and I always tell students when you draw y-axis, you should look at the x value. Yeah, because the x value will tell you where to draw your y-axis. Okay, the y-axis you can draw paling kiri. The reason being is because your x value is all positive. 0, 5/4, 3, 5. So there will be no graph on the left. Yeah, the whole graph is on the right side because all the x value are positive. Okay, and after drawing the y-axis, start by labeling the highest y-axis, the paling tinggi punya. So you have 3, 49/8. Okay, let's change this to decimal. 5/4 is 1.25. 49/8 is 6.125. 6.125. Okay, the reason you change to decimal is so that you know roughly where it's located. Okay? So let's make this the 49/8. So that means this one is 6.125 lah. So let's do like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. But if I go like that, it's very. But later I have to go until -22, right? So I don't think this is a good idea. Yeah, yeah. Because -22 is sangat bawah, right? So what you can do is panjangkan a bit. Okay, maybe you do like that. 6 and then 3 and then 0. Okay, 6 and then 3, maybe roughly here, and then 0 is like here, and then -3, -6, -9, uh -12, -15, -18, and then 21, so it's like -22 roughly here. Okay, you don't have to write all the numbers, tak payah tulis semua nombor, only tulis nombor yang you guna saja, which is 0, 3, 49, like that is enough. Okay, and then for the x-axis, okay, let's draw nice and big, so like that. Okay, now you can. Oh, for the x, I belum label 0, 1.25, 3, 5. So I think you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lah. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I will not label all the values. Only those yang ada guna saja. 5, 3. Yeah, because it's a sketch question. So you don't have to code the exact scala one. But it's still recommended to make sure the distance all is like balanced. Kalau tak nanti your graph will look very weird. Okay, if 1.2, 1 and 2 is here, 1.25 must be, middle is 1.5, middle again lah. So this one is 1.25. Okay. All right. I will not write the rest of the numbers, because it'll be confusing if I write it. Yeah, it will be very messy. Banyak numbers, so tak suka. Okay, 03 is here. 5/4, 49/8. Okay, I should write 5/4 here. It's better, right? Okay, 5/4, 49, so it's here. And then 30, that's the x-intercept here. 522 is here. So as you can see, it's a quadratic curve lah. Okay. All right. I realized something. This one, I think I will put it a bit like that. 5, something like that. All right. So let's join. Okay. So this one, I will fix it a bit. 5, 22. 22. Ya, so lebih kurang macam ni lah. Okay, actually ada lagi satu x-intercept. Kalau you panjangkan, it's -1/2, right? But why I cross it out just now is because I told you already, the range, they already said they want to draw from 0 until 5 only. So that's the answer lah. So that's it. Okay. The only thing left is to write the equation. Fx equals to -2x squared plus 5x plus 3. Okay, that's all. I recommend labeling the turning point 5/4, 49/8. The rest of the point tak label tak apa. Just this point, I recommend labeling it the turning point. Okay. So this is the maximum point. Okay. And the axis of symmetry is here lah. X equals 5/4. All right. So that's it. Let's continue. Okay, let's do number 6. All right, what chapter is this? Let's scan through the question. Perimeter, curved surface, R, pi. Okay, this one is from 5, chapter 1. Circular measure. Okay, diagram 3 shows the cross section of a front door of a barn, such that ABCD is a rectangle. Okay. And then OAPB is a sector with center O and radius R. So if OAPB is a sector, that means OA and OB must be the radius. So this will be R also lah. Okay. So nothing much to label here. All right. PQ is perpendicular bisector of AB. All right. What is perpendicular bisector? Perpendicular bisector means you go to the midpoint of AB and then draw a 90-degree line. Okay. So what it means by PQ is perpendicular bisector of AB means you go to the AB midpoint and then draw a perpendicular bisector line. That means this line and this line mesti sama panjang, because Q is the midpoint, and then you draw a 90-degree line like that. Okay, so let's label the 90-degree. Okay, given that the length AB is 8 meter, so this is 4, 4 lah, because AB you cut in half, you get 4, 4. And then PQ is 2 meter. Where's PQ? Okay, this is the like the height lah, the vertical line here. Okay, what else? Calculate the value of R in meter. And then they say use pi 3.142. Okay, where's the R? Okay, this one. How to do it? Okay, can I use the arc formula? No, because they never give us the arc. Even if they give arc also, it's not possible because you don't have the theta and don't have the radius. Area of sector formula also not possible. What about the chord formula? Okay, I have the chord which is 8, but it doesn't work because the chord formula is 2r sine theta over 2. The r I don't have, theta also don't have. Yeah, so I don't think you can use that. Even the segment formula also cannot because they never give us area of segment. All right, when all the circle formula cannot use, that means there's only one way out, which is the right angle triangle. Yeah. So let's look for right angle triangle here. So if I draw a line, if I panjangkan the PQ line until here, what will happen is you will get a 90-degree and you will form a right angle, right? Yeah, so that's the plan now, is to use the right angle to do. Because right angle triangle, you can either use the Pythagoras theorem or you can also use the, what is it called? The trigonometry sin cos tan lah, Sokato. Okay, the panjang here is 4, the R is here, which is what I want to find. And then the theta will split into half. Yeah, when you cut it middle like this, because this is an isosceles triangle. When you cut it in half, you get 2 right angle and then the theta will cut into half. Okay. Alright, can I use trigonometry? The Sokato. The answer is no, because if you're trying to find the radius, you need to have the angle. You need to have angle. If I have this angle, then boleh lah, I can use the sine, right? Yeah, let's say this one is 30-degree lah. Just assuming it's 30-degree, then I can do sine 30 equals to 4 over r. Because 4 is the opposite, r is the hypotenuse. But the problem is we don't have the theta. So I think I have to give up doing it like that. So let's look for other ways. Maybe Pythagoras theorem. But Pythagoras theorem, you need to have the remaining 2 sides. Okay, let's work towards getting this side. Alright, from O to B is the radius, O to A is radius, O to P should be the radius also, right? Should be the R also, right? Because this is also from the center to the side. So center to the side of circle should be the radius also. So to find the here, it will be R minus 2, right? So can we use Pythagoras theorem? The answer is yes. Yeah, because when you use Pythagoras theorem, you can tie up these 3 things in one equation. And it will just be an equation in terms of R, and then you can cari R already. Yeah, so the formula is a square plus b square equals c square. That's the Pythagoras theorem. But you have to make sure c is the longer side, which is the hypotenuse. So the c must be the r square lah. And then the a and b will be these other two. So it will be r minus 2 square plus 4 square. Yeah, so now I can solve for r. Okay, kembang dulu. R square and then r times negative 2 times 2 is negative 4r and then negative 2 square plus 4 and then plus with 4 square 16 equals to r square. R square minus R square is 0. So negative 4R equals 4 plus 16, 20. Pindah sana jadi negative 20. Divide negative 4 is positive 5. Alright, so it's in meter, right? So let's write meters. Okay, if the R is 5 means this one is 5, this one is 5, and then this one is 3 lah. Yeah, this one is 3. Because it's 5 minus 2, right? Yeah, so now we have a lot of information already. So when we do B, it will be easy already. B1, find the perimeter in meter. Okay, I want you to change the question. Is perimeter of shaded region. Yeah, change the soalan. Because when I do it the first time and I'm trying to find the perimeter, it's actually not possible because if I find the perimeter, I need this line. Okay, I need this line which is 8, but these 2 lines there's no way to find it. Yeah, when I do it the first time, I did it like this lah because I thought they want the perimeter of the whole diagram. And then when I check with the schema, rupa-rupanya the schema also do the perimeter for the shaded region only. Yeah, so you should change the soalan lah. Perimeter of shaded region. Okay, how to find the perimeter of shaded region in meters? Very easy This one is 8, right? And then just plus with the arc lah. So use the arc formula. And let me tell you, the shaded region there's a name for this. It's called the segment. Dalam bahasa Melayu is the tembering. So to find the perimeter of segment, the perimeter of tembering, you need to take the chord length plus with the arc length. So let's find the arc length, arc AB, APB. So the formula is r theta 5 times with theta, and of course the theta has to be in radian, and the theta has to be from here to here, but I don't have, right? But we can find it using the right angle. Okay, so let's erase this, find the angle first. So we already know this is 5 minus 2, which is 3, and this is 5. So to find the angle here, actually half of the angle here, to find half the angle, you can use SOHCAHTOA, right? Okay, you want to use sin, cos, or tangent. Actually, tiga-tiga pun boleh. Because you already have all three sides. So you nak guna soh pun boleh, kah pun boleh, toa pun boleh. Because you have all three sides. So let's say I use sine lah. So it will be sine theta over 2 will be opposite or hypotenuse. So it will be 4 or 5 lah. But what if you use cos? Can also. Cos theta over 2, but you have to write equal to 3 over 5 lah. And trust me, you'll get the same answer. If you use tangent also, get same. The reason why you can use mana-mana is because you already have all three sides. Okay, how to find theta over 2? Just tekan shift sign 4 over 5. Okay, right, when you tekan shift sign, what you are actually finding is the reference angle. Okay, my calculator give me 53 degree 8 minutes. Okay, I usually write in degree minutes. Okay, but you have to know something. This one is only half of the angle. Okay, let's write the RA first. Yeah, RA. And this is only half of the angle. Okay, and I want you to know that this is only the reference angle, and there's actually another answer in quadrant 2, because when you're sign positive, add sugar to coffee, right? So there's one answer in quadrant 1, one answer in quadrant 2, but we ignore the quadrant 2 answer is because this angle is inside the right angle, so this angle has to be less than 90 definitely, because this is already 90 already, and the total angle inside the triangle is 180, so this angle has to be quadrant 1. That's why we ignore the answer in the quadrant 2. So now we know theta over 2 is 53 degree 8 minutes, and then now we times 2 to get the full angle. Alright, my calculator give me 106.26, but I always write in degree minutes, so 106 degrees 16 minutes. Okay. Alright, of course I have to convert to radian, so times pi over 180. So I'll use the answer button to help me. So the answer is 1.855. Okay, let me try with my calculator. Yes, 1.855. Just write in 4 significant figures. Okay, this is the angle in radian. Now we can finally find the arc. And then plus 8 to find the perimeter. Okay, I'll continue here. Arc APB. The formula is r theta. Okay, the arc here will be the radius 5 times with the theta in radian 1.855. Alright, if you press this and write 4 significant figure, you get 9.274 meter. Okay, meter. Belum siap lagi. Dia nak perimeter. So perimeter of shaded region equals to 9.274 plus with this line right here, which is 8. And then you get 17.274. Or you can write 17.27 also can. Yeah, just write 4 significant figures. Okay, so that's it. Okay, number 2, find the curved surface as shaded in diagram 3. Permukaan, or the area, I forgot to read this. Find the area of curved surface as shaded. Okay, if you want to find the area of curved surface as shaded, means you find the area of shaded region. So you're actually finding the area of segment. Okay, to find area of segment, you take the area of sector minus area of triangle. Okay, so it will be 1 over 2 r square theta minus with 1 over 2 r square sine theta. 1 over 2 r square theta is to find the area of sector. And then 1 over 2 r square sine theta is the triangle. Yeah, because the triangle, I use the 1 over 2 AB sine C formula. But since your A and B are both the radius, that's why it's r square lah. And then sine theta, yeah, sine C. Okay, if you want to do it fast, you can factorize out the 1 over 2 r square like that. And then you left with theta minus sine theta. Okay, and then now you just sub the r and all the theta inside lah. Okay, the r radius will be 5. And then the theta will be this one, right? But you have to make sure this theta you sub in radian first. This one is in radian. Okay, the one that yang ada sine, that one have to be in degree. So the theta in radian is 1.855 minus sine theta, this one is to be in degree, 106 degrees 16 minutes. It means this two theta is the same angle. Yeah, it's the same angle. It's just different unit. One in degree, one in radian. Okay, now I'll press all this, then I will get the answer. 1.855 minus sine 106 degrees 60 minutes, and then answer times 25 divided 2, and I write in 4 cm figure is 11.19 meters square. Okay. All right. So that's all for this. Sudah siap. Okay. Number 7. All right. This looks like a differentiation chapter. Yeah. Rate of change. Definitely Form 5, chapter 2. Okay. So let's read. Diagram 4 shows a cylinder cake mold, and diagram 5 shows the cake mold filled with unbaked cake mixture. So this one is the like the mold. Okay. Yeah. And then you fill in with the cake mixture inside, and then the height is 3 cm. Huh? Okay, the height of cake mold is HCM. Okay, the cake mold total height H. Diameter is 24. Okay, usually we don't use diameter, we use radius. So let's divide by 2, you get 12 for the radius. And then the cake mixture has a height of 3 cm before baking. Oh, before baking. Huh? So the H is 3. So maybe after baking, the height will increase lah. But the radius will not change. Yeah, because the mold, ya takkanlah you punya mold tukar size, betul lah. Yeah, the mold should stay the same. The radius should be the same. Maybe the mixture will start to expand when you start to baking, because during baking it will become you will heat up the mold and then maybe it will expand lah. All right, now A, given that the height of cake mixture increase at the rate of 1/720, so yeah, every second it will increase by 1/720 cm. Okay, so this is definitely rate of change question lah. And then when baked at temperature 180, find the rate of change of volume cake mixture. Yeah, definitely it's a rate of change question. Okay, I'll write the information here. So what is the 1/720? It's the rate of the change of height of cake mixture. So rate mesti over dt, and since it's the rate of height, it will be dh, because they use h to represent the height. Okay. And then when baked at temperature 180, okay, I don't think this is useful. Yeah, this because this is about temperature. So tak guna langsung, Yeah, and then also they say find the rate of change of volume. So tak kena mengena pun dengan temperature kan. Okay, rate of change of volume. Rate mesti over dt, tapi dia nak volume. Rate of volume. So dv over dt equals question mark. Okay, and I think that's all for the information. Okay, sekarang kita boleh start to do. Alright, when we're doing rate of change of question, I always teach the same way. I will always say leave some empty space here. And then you have to draw this thing. Line equals to line, darab line. And then bawah sini dengan bawah sini, confirm mesti dt. Confirm. So tulis dt. And then yang ini dengan yang ni sama. And then yang ni dengan yang ni sama. Okay. But apa yang kita kena tulis dekat sini depends on the equation. Kalau you punya equation V equals, then V lah. dV lah. Kalau H equals, H lah. But confirm is either dV or dH one. Because you can refer atas sini, right? Ini dH dt, dV dt. Yang dt sudah confirm masuk sini. So yang tinggal is dV dengan dH saja. So what do you think will be your equation later? V equals or H equals? Well, V is the volume of cylinder. H is the height of the cylinder. So mestilah you punya equation nanti akan jadi V equals. That's why it should be dV dV dH dH. And you have to form the equation yourself later because dia tak bagi kan. And you can form it because the volume of cylinder formula is pi r square H. Yeah. So that's why it's dV dV dH dH. Okay. Okay, the dV dH dt 1/720 itu boleh masuk dekat sini. dH dt. Okay. And then dV dt yang tu question mark. Question mark means this is what you have to find at the end. Ya, ini apa yang you kena cari at the end. So what you have to find now? What you have to find now? This one lah. dVdh is what you have to find now. Sekarang. So you can differentiate here and find dVdh. Tapi, you tak boleh differentiate apabila ada dua unknown on the right side. Yeah, when you have two unknowns on the right side, you cannot differentiate. So you have to get rid of the r or get rid of the h. Well, you have to get rid of the r. If you get rid of the h, then it becomes dV dr. Saya mau dVdh. So obviously we want the equation V in terms of H only. So the R have to get rid. Alright, do you realize the R is actually 12? Before heat up also 12, after heat up also 12. The 12 actually never changed. Yeah, it's like a constant. It never changed. That means the R boleh sub 12. So you get V equals 144 pi H. Now you differentiate dV dH, you get 144 pi. And since after differentiate you tak ada H already, then then we don't have to sub with the H also, because after differentiate the H gone already. So done already lah. That one masuk sini lah. So now you write your answer in terms of pi. 144 over 720 is 1 over 5. And don't forget the unit. Okay, the V volume is cm cube, and then the time will be in second. Tapi dia duduk bawah, so S minus 1. Yeah, they mention it in the question also, you see, in cm cube per second. Alright, that's all for this. Let's do B. Alright, given that the cake has been baked to a height of h cm, alright, at first it's 3, and then after baking it bakes until h cm, which is the total height of the whole cylinder. And then the cake is removed from the mold to cool down. Okay, cool down. After a certain time, the height of cake is found to change to h minus 0.001 cm. So your h is actually changing from h to h minus 0.001. Yeah, because after baking, the height of cake is h, but when it cools down, it becomes this, right? And then the percentage of change is negative 0.0125. Find number one, the value of h. Okay, you can find the delta h from here. And also this is definitely a small change question. Yeah, yang tadi is rate of change, and ini small change. It's called perubahan kecil. Okay, perubahan kecil ada satu formula yang you kena tahu, dy dx almost equals to delta y over delta x. Tapi dia bukan semestinya dy dx lah. Sometimes dia boleh jadi dv dr or dhd whatever lah. So for this is definitely not dy dx. I think it would be dv dh. Okay, but it's okay. Let's find our delta h first. Ambil yang ini, tolak dengan ini. So yeah, because this is the new value, h after cool down punya height, and then minus before cool down punya height. So minus potong. So this is your delta h, right? Okay, don't forget there's also another information that gives you percentage of change in the height, negative 0.0125%. Okay, if they give you the percentage change, it means you can find your delta h also. Yeah, you can find the delta h also. The method is, because the percentage change formula is you take the delta, you take the new value minus the old value over the old value times 100. Yeah, I remember making a video like one year ago. Yeah, I remember I got upload a video before explaining about percentage change, and I even show my face in that video. Yeah, it's still on my YouTube channel. Yeah, but it's I make that video like long time ago lah. Okay, but anyways, I got explained about the percentage change formula. So this is the formula, and when you're talking about percentage change in height, what happens when you take the new minus old? You are getting the small change in height lah. So what you are taking is the delta h over the h, the old h times 100 to get the percentage change negative 0.0125. So if you find delta h from here, it will be negative 0.0125 times 100, hantar jadi divide 100, and then times h. Yeah, because what I'm trying to find here is the delta h. So it will be negative, okay, 0.0125 divide 100 is 0. Okay, you move 2 times, right? 1, 2. So it becomes 0.000125. 0.000125. Okay, divide 100. And then times with h. Get the delta h. Okay, so this is the delta h. Okay, now to find the value of h, okay, you can see both of this is delta h, right? So both of this boleh sama dengan lah. So it will be negative 0.000125 h equals to negative 0.001. 001, this one is 0.0. Okay, betul lah guys. Ya, betul lah. So h equals to yang ini bahagi dengan yang ini lah. Negative bahagi negative is positive. And then 0.001 bahagi 0.000125 is 8. Okay, don't forget the unit is in meters. Is it? No, it's cm. Okay. Yeah. Alright, so now we can do number 2. Find the volume after the cake is cooled for that period of time. Volume of cool means you are finding the V new lah. Yeah, you're finding the new volume. Okay. But in order to find the new volume, you have to use this special formula. V new equals to V old plus with delta V. That's the formula to find new value. Okay. And why I leave an empty space is because I know I don't have the delta V. Okay. But it's okay. We can use the small change formula later. Remember this one? Okay. Okay, but let's talk about how to get the V new first. So we have to take V old plus delta V. Delta V definitely we have to find later. And the V old will just be the original equation. What's the original equation? This one, 144 pi h. But the h we can sub with the h we can sub with the 8. Yeah, because that's the h original. Yeah, that's the old h. So you sub the old h inside the equation, you get the old v. So let's tekan this first. 144 times 8, you get 1152 pi. But of course, you have to plus with the delta v, the small change in v to get the new volume. All right, so the formula we're going to use is dvdh almost equals to delta v over delta h. And we already have the delta h. It's negative 0.001. And then the dvdh is 144 pi h. But the h you should sub with the original, which is 8 lah. But we already do it just now. We can just derule from there. 1152 pi, right? And then the delta v I can find it lah. So ini darat ni. Okay, the pi I won't press because I want my answer in terms of pi. So I'll just write the pi beside, and then 1152 times negative 0.001. Okay, my calculator give me negative 1.152. So negative 1.152 pi is the delta v. Now you sub inside 1.152 pi. This one also negative 1.152 pi. And then yang ni minus yang ni lah. Okay, but your answer will be in terms of pi. So just press 1152 minus with this. Alright, I got 1150.848. But I feel like I did something wrong here. Okay, wait. DVDH. What's DVDH? Oh my god. The DVDH is 144 pi, right? Yeah, 144 pi. So why I go and write 1152 pi? Yeah, I thought the DVDH is 144 pi h. No, that's the V. That's the V. The DVDH is 144 pi. And you don't have to sub with h is because they don't have h already. Yeah, because after you differentiate, you end up with 144 pi. So you don't have to sub the h8. Of course, if your DVDH answer other h, then only you have to sub with the original old value of h. But after differentiate, other h already. So don't have to sub already. So it should be 144 times negative 0.001. So my mistake, my careless mistake there. Alright, so let me press again. So it should be negative 0.144. Yeah, so let me betulkan myself. Alright, so this one should be negative 0.144 pi. This one also negative 0.144 pi. Now I press 1152 minus. Okay, 1151.856. Okay, this is the correct answer. Okay, usually I write 4 significant figures, but this one dia tak ada banyak decimal place pun. Dia just satu lagi digit saja, so better just write the whole thing. Alright, the unit is cm cube because it's volume, right? Yeah, the new volume, so cm cube. Okay, let's do bahagian B. Okay, this one is linear law question. So bahagian ni mengandungi 4 soalan, jawab 3 soalan. Okay, I will jawab all 4 questions. Yeah, in this video I'll jawab all 4. Okay, this one is linear law from 4 chapter 6. Okay, table 2 shows the values of two variables x and y obtained from one experiment. Okay, the variable x and y are related by this equation such that a and b are constant, and then dia bagi table. Alright, semua ni tak penting, yang penting equation saja. And then A dia suruh lukis graph, right? By using skala, blah blah blah, plot the line. And then B suruh cari ni semua. Okay, so I cannot draw the graph first. First step when we do linear question is change the equation to linear form. Ya, tukar jadi y equal mx plus c. Lepas tukar jadi mx plus c, buat table. Buat table baru. Lepas buat table baru, baru boleh lukis graph. Okay. Alright, kenapa kena tukar jadi linear form dulu? Sebab kalau you tak tukar jadi linear form dulu, nanti you tak boleh buat part B. And kenapa kena buat table? Sebab kalau tak buat table, nanti tak boleh buat part A. So all these steps you have to do it yourself. Even though the question never ask also, you have to do it. Okay. Memang macam tu one lah. The linear law is always standard one. Dia punya cara memang sama. Okay, so the equation write down first is AE power BX minus 5 square. Alright. When we change to linear form, we want the equation to be y equal mx plus c. And we want our y-axis to match with the y-axis in the graph. Okay. So, kalau nak tahu graph punya y-axis apa, you boleh tiru sini. Dia akan cakap siapa melawan siapa kan. Log y melawan x minus. So, that's the y-axis, x-axis. That means your y-axis is ln y. And your x-axis is x minus 5 square. So we can try our best to tukar supaya kita punya y-axis sama dengan y-axis dekat graph. So what we have to do is tambah log lah. But we have to tambah log base e because they want ln y, right? So ln is log base e. So kita tambah log base e on both sides. So the y will be written here. And then this will be a e power b bracket x minus 5 square. Okay, log base e is ln. So you can just write this as ln y. Okay, yang ini kita boleh pecahkan. And why we have to pecahkan is because I want my right side to be mx plus c. We don't want it to be like everything jumbled up together like that. So we can use the law of logarithm, the multiplication rule, right? So single log times separate log plus. So it becomes log base e a plus with log e, and then the whole power you can move to the front. Okay, but I don't have space. Okay, so the log EA, I will write it here. Alright, so the whole power, I bring it front already. So BX minus 5 square. And then the log EE can potong jadi 1. So now we just have to arrange a bit. But make sure your x-axis has to be x minus 5 square. Huh? So it be ln y equals to, okay, y equal mx plus c. So I have to write this one first. Bx minus 5 square. Yeah, mx plus c. And then log EA is just ln a. Alright, done. Y equals mx plus c. Your y-axis match with the graph. Your x-axis also match with the graph already. Yeah, because the x-axis is x minus 5 square. That means the gradient from here will be the gradient on the graph also. So the gradient is b, and then the y-intercept is ln a. Okay, and you need this when you do part b later. Yeah, because when you do part b later, they ask to find a, right? So how do you think you will find your a? You will use the y-intercept, right? But ln a is the y-intercept. Okay, yeah, ln a is the y-intercept, and the y I will use huruf besar. And then ln a, later you get the y-intercept from your graph. After that, you do anti-log. When you do anti-log, you pindah the log base to the other side, and then the log base becomes the number base. Okay, ln is base e, so it'll be e power something here lah. That one kita kena buat graph nanti baru dapat. And then you get your A answer. And then question 2, how to find the B. B is the gradient. So later after drawing the graph, we use the graph to find gradient and then masuk dalam sini lah, y minus y or x minus x, and then get the B. Okay, what about number 3? Number 3 asking you to find x when y equals 74. Okay, you cannot straight away go to your graph and cari 74 because this one is y. You punya graph y-axis is ln y. So you have to dapatkan nilai ln y dulu. And if you tekan ln y, boleh tekan dalam calculator, you get 4.30. Ada button ln kan dekat you punya calculator. Just tekan tu saja. And it's 2 decimal place. And then after that, only you find x minus 5 square. Yeah, because when you tarik from ln y, you get x minus 5 square. Tapi dia nak cari x saja tau. So, apa you kena buat? Square root kan benda tu. Lepas square root, tambah 5 to get the final answer. Okay. Alright, so ini semua adalah part D punya preparation. Sekarang baru saya lukis table baru and then do A. Draw the graph. I memang suka macam tu one lah. I memang suka tulis siap-siap the working for B first. Yeah, I memang suka terus tukar linear form and then tulis siap-siap the working for B. Then only I do the table and the graph. Itu memang saya punya style lah. Saya suka buat macam ni. Alright, so now I can do the table. So the table, I'll just draw it here. Okay. In the exam, they will provide the answer space one lah. You draw in the answer space. Okay, so the table will have how many points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, Only 5 points. Usually it's like 6 points, 7 points one. So this one is 5 points. So there's lebih sikit lah. Alright, so the x-axis is x minus 5 square. That's the new x-axis. And then the new y-axis is ln y. So I have to get all the values here. Alright, how to get the x minus 5 square? First we tekan 5.84 minus 5 and then square. Alright, I get 0.71. Oh, remember in write in 2 decimal place for this because later have to plot this and it's a graph question, so 2 decimal place. 6.58 minus 5 and then bracket square 2.50. The next one is 6.79 minus 5 and then square is 3.20. 6.94 minus 5 square 3.76. 7.12 minus 5 square 4.49. Okay, the next one is ln y. Okay, the one you can just use the ln button. So just tekan ln 0.22, negative 1.51, ln 4.66, 1.54, 2 decimal place, ln 44.7, 3.80, ln 81.45, 4.40, and then ln 330.31 is 5.80. Yeah. So this one nothing for me to teach lah. This one just the calculator saja. Alright, now you can plot. Okay, they got give us skala 2 cm to 1 unit on both axes. Okay, before going to the graph, I will always teach like this. I always say, tengok dulu mana kena letak itu kosong-kosong. The 0, 0 mana letak dulu. Okay, so if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, the maximum you can go until 5 lah. And then the y-axis you have to go until 6, right? But there's a negative point here, negative 1.5. So I think you have to go negative 1, negative 2 like that. Yeah, so your 0, 0 cannot put at the bottom left because got negative value. Yeah, got one negative value. So you have to like bawah kiri, but you have to slightly move up a bit because you need some space here. And also your first point is actually duduk dekat sini. Lebih kurang sini, right? Yeah, and then slowly the point is going up. Yeah, because the value is keep on increasing, so the line is going up. So your line will be like this. So you have to make sure you leave some space here for the y-intercept. Yeah. If the y-intercept duduk atas, then you leave some space atas lah. If you y-intercept bawah, leave some space bawah. Yeah. So what I will do is the 6 I will straight away tulis paling atas. Yeah, the 6 I will straight away tulis paling atas. So that I have enough space later for the y-intercept. Baca the y-intercept. Okay, 2 cm to 1. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And we need negative 2 until negative 1, negative 2. And you can see there's plenty space here. Just in case lah, the y-intercept jatuh sini. If the y-intercept jatuh sini, I still can baca mah. Imagine my negative 1, negative 2 is here. Then it's very dangerous. What if your y-intercept is negative 2 point something? Then you cannot read already. So make sure you aware of that whenever you draw your graph. Okay, for the x, I remember only use until 5. So just go until 5. And then the x-axis is x minus 5 square. And then the y-axis is ln y. So let's draw the axis. Okay, so I'm done with the axis. Now we can plot. Okay, wait for me a bit. Alright, this one is ln y. Okay, the tajuk I will write now. Yeah, the tajuk for this will be graph of ln y against x minus 5 square. Okay, this tajuk you can after you can tulis nanti pun boleh. Lah, last kali nak tulis pun boleh. But if I write it now, then later I won't forget lah. And also if I lukis sekarang, then nanti tak payah lukis lah. Okay, so let's plot the first point. 0.71, negative 1.51. Okay, the scala here is 2 cm to 1. So satu kotak kecil is 0.1. And if you're looking for 0.71, it will be 0.5 is here, 0.6, 0.7. 0.1 is 0.7. Tambah sikit je. So it's like lebih kurang here. 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.1 here. Even if you plot as 0.7 also, it's fine. Because 0.7 and 0.71 is literally so close. They are so near. So you just plot at 0.7 also is fine. Yeah, it's fine also. Okay, negative 1.51 is negative 1, 2, middle is negative 1.5, right? If negative 1.5, you turun satu is negative 1.6 already. But you want negative 1.51, so it's a bit slightly down like that. And if you plot at negative 1.5 also, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine if you plot at negative 1.51. Yeah, because it's very near to negative 1.5. Negative 1.51 is very near to negative 1.5. Okay, so the point is at here. Oh my god, why is the line so blur? Okay lah. Yeah, yeah, I think this is good enough. Okay, next point. 2.5, 1.54. Let's go. 2.5 is very easy. It's 2 and 3 middle. 1.54. Okay, this one is 1.5, right? But if you naik satu, it become 1.6 already. So 54 should be 1.5. Naik sikit. Sikit. So naik sikit. So it's like here. And of course, you have to make sure you plot at 2.5. Okay, next. 3.2, 3.8. Like that. Okay, 3.2 is here. Right? 3.8 is just 4 turun 2 kotak lah. Yeah. Because 4 turun 1 is 3.9, turun lagi 3.8. Alright, make sure you plot at 3.2, so it's here. Betul lah. 3.2, 3.8. Yeah, betul lah. Okay, now for the next point. 3.76, 4.4. Okay, 3.76. Okay, this one is 3.5, 3.6, 3.7. And then 3.8. So 3.76 is somewhere in between. So it's like lebih kurang here lah. And then 4.4. 4 naik 4 kotak here. So it'll be 3.76 naik sampai 4.4. So 3.9, 3.8, 3.7. So here lah. Yeah, lebih kurang here lah. Let's check. 3.5, 3.6, 3.76, 4.4. Yeah, betul lah. Okay, next one. Last one already. Yeah, let's go. 4.49, 5.8. 4.49 Okay, 4.5 is here. And you tolak sikit lah. Sikit je. Sikit is 4.49 And then 5.8 is 6 turun 2 kotak. So 6 turun 2 kotak is here, but you have to plot at 4.49. Yeah. Okay, so I think I'm done with all the coordinates. Now it's time to draw the line of best fit. Okay, when you draw the line of best fit, you need a pembaris panjang. So remember to bring that to the SPM nanti. And when you join, you have to make sure your line touches most of the points. So what we'll do is we will adjust our ruler. Okay, if I join my ruler to the first point and the second point, okay, connecting these 2 points, you can see that the line touches 3 points. And then satu atas, satu bawah, right? And then we try to adjust. What if I join like that? Okay, this one is not that good because you only touch 2 points and all the rest point duduk bawah. And then you try with this. And then you try with this. And see which one is the best one lah. Okay, wait. What if okay, did I plot any point wrong? Because my graph looks so different compared to the schema. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, wait, let me figure out where I did wrong. Okay, what is this point? Negative. Okay, I know already. My first point plot wrongly. This point is not supposed to be here. 0.71. I go and plot 1 point. Oh my god, how come I plot here? Maybe I thought this one is 0.5. Okay, so 0.7 is here, 0.5, 0.7 is here, so it's here. Yeah, 0.71 is here. And then the y coordinate is negative 1.51. So it's here. Yeah, so when you turun, it should be here. So 0.71. Yeah, around here. Okay, so sorry, I plot the first point wrong. Okay, now we can try to join. All right, if I join the first, if I put the line, put the ruler on the first 2 points, you can see that it only touches 2 points, the rest all duduk atas. If I join the 1 and 3 also, all the rest of the point duduk bawah. Okay, so it's not that good. What if I put 1, 4? Okay, this one is good because you can see it touches 3 points, right? Yeah, and then walaupun point ni tak sentuh, tapi ini pun tak sentuh. And then satu atas, satu bawah. So it's like balance lah. So this is the best fit because it touches, this is the line that touches the most points. Okay, and remember to extend the line, panjangkan line until the y-axis because we need to find we need the y-intercept later. Okay, all right. So let me just make it smaller. Wait Okay, so this is how it looks like. So now we are, wait, this one macam tak sentuh So let me adjust sikit supaya kasih dia sentuh 3 point. Okay, okay. This one is good. All right, so this is my answer. Okay, let's look for the y-intercept. So you can see, okay, this one is negative. Oh my God, what happened? All right, so this one is -3, and you can see the y-intercept is like here, right? Here. So here is -2.8. So we can use this to do the part C, -2.8. So the y-intercept -2.8, tulis sini lah. So ln A is -2.8. So your A will be e power -2.8. So tekan e power -2.8. And then this one I'll write the answer in in 4 significant figure. Okay, how to tekan E? You tekan Shift LN. Shift LN and then -2.8. Okay, let's write the answer in 4 significant figure. 0.06081. 0.06081. Right in 4 significant figures. Okay, what about second question, gradient? Okay, gradient you kena cari 2 point. Okay, I think I can use this point. Yeah, it's 0, 0, and then -2.8. Okay, for another coordinate, you can choose any other coordinates, but make sure it's on the line lah. Make sure you choose coordinate on the line. On the line. Let's use the point at 4. Yeah, you want to use at 5 also can, but you have to panjangkan your line lah. If you want to use at 5, yeah, because when you divide by 5, you will get a nice answer also. Because the gradient formula is y minus y or x minus x, right? That's why I try to choose 0 to 5 or 0 to 4. Because then it's easy to divide later. Okay, I choose 0 to 4 lah. Okay, where is it? Okay, it's like in the middle, right? It's like in the middle. Okay lah, then take middle lah. Okay, so it's at 4, but it's between 4.9 and 4.8. So let's just call it 4.85. Okay, yeah. Okay, so now with the 2 points that's on the line, now we can find the gradient. Okay, so join using dotted line first. All right, so this is the 90 degree. Okay, now we find the gradient y minus y over x minus x. So -2.8 minus 4.85. -2.8 minus 4.85 divide with 0 minus 4. Okay, now we press -2.8 minus 4.85 and then answer divide by -4. Okay, I got 1.9125. Okay, so that is my B answer. Okay, now let's do number 3. Okay, I remember this one. I already do the preparation. Yeah, we can straight away go ln y cari 4.3 lah. Okay, 4.0 is here. Naik 3 kotak. 1, 2, 3. And then tarik dotted line. Tarik until it reach the line. Okay, when it's on the line, the dot. And then tarik bawah. And then you will get the answer for x minus 5 square. Okay, it's at 3.5, 3.6, 3.7. Okay, but this is not the answer. This is the x minus 5 square. You want the x. So you have to square root this. Okay, let's write in 4 significant figure. 1.924. Okay, tapi dia ada banyak lagi digit selepas 4 lah. Tapi you write 4 same figure, but it's okay. You use the answer button plus 5. Alright, so it's 6.924. So that is the answer. Okay, this is how I would do this question. So that's all. Okay, now we are at number 9. Okay, this one is confirm integration lah. Confirm. From 5 chapter 3. Okay, diagram 6 shows the curve y square equals x plus 4. Where is it? Okay, this one. And the straight line 5y plus 3x equals 30. So there's a straight line here. And then they intersect at point R. Okay, point R. The straight line 5y plus 3x equals 30 intersect y-axis at point P. So I can find point P lah. Because point P is the y-intercept. And if you have the equation, you can find it already. Just sub x 0. And you get 5y equals 30. Y equals 30 divided 5 is 6. Okay. And actually, not only that, you can also find point K. Yeah. Find point K. And this point. And this point R. And this point also. And I will find it now. Even if the question never asked also, I'll just find. I'll just find. Because when you are doing the integration question, you should always find out all the x-intercept, y-intercept, intersection point. Yeah, you should always find it. All right, so this one I can find it. This is the x-intercept of the curve. So you can see y kosong. So kosong equals x plus 4. So x is negative 4. And this one also I can find. This is the x-intercept of the straight line. So ganti y kosong also. 3x is 30. X is 30 divided 3 is 10. And then what else? K, can I find? Yes. This is the y-intercept of the curve. So sub x 0, your y square will be 4. Y will be square root 4. Square root 4 ada dua jawapan, 2 and negative 2. But this one confirm is the positive one. The negative 2 is when you extend. When you extend the curve, then only you get the negative 2. That's why we don't take the answer. So your K is 2 lah. Okay, the H also can find. Just sub the, because you have the y coordinate 3, right? Just sub the 3 inside here. Or you want to sub here also can. Yeah, because this point passes through the line and the curve. So both equations also you can sub. Okay. And also if you look at A, they say find H and K. So yeah, that's what I will do now. Okay, let's find K first. Let's find H first lah. So when x equals to H, y equals to 3. Okay, the point R, right? And you can sub into the curve equation or the line equation because this point passes through both. So both equation also can. Okay, let's sub into this one lah, whatever lah. Y square, so it becomes 3 square equals x plus 4. So H. So your H is 3 square, which is 9 minus 4, 5. So now you know already this is 5, 3, point R. And then for point K, you will sub when x equals 0, right? Inside this equation. So your y square is equals to 0 plus 4. And then y square equals to 4. Y equals to plus minus square root 4. Y equals 2. Y equals plus minus 2. And then since y has to be bigger than 0, y must be 2. And that also means k is 2. Yeah, actually we know the answer already lah from the beginning because I find it just now already. But I'm showing that I need to show them the working also, how I get the answer. Okay. So this is my H and this is my K. The soalan asks for HK. Okay, after getting that, now we can do B, area of shaded region. Okay, when we are doing the integration question and we are finding area, we will always ask ourselves the two questions. Yeah, the two main questions we have to ask ourselves. First one is we need to check which axis we want to integrate, whether you use the x-axis to integrate or the y-axis integrate. And then the second thing we have to ask ourselves is how many times we have to integrate. Yeah, some region you integrate satu kali boleh dapat, some region you have to integrate dua kali baru boleh dapat the region. Okay, so it depends on the question. Alright, first thing, let's look at the shaded region first. It's here. So I'll tell you straight away, confirm you have to integrate dua kali. Confirm. Doesn't matter which axis you use. If you use the x-axis, okay, this one is 5. If you use the x-axis to integrate, you have to integrate dua kali. First time is to integrate to get the trapezium, and then second time is to get this region. Okay, means you have to take straight line minus curve if you're using x-axis. But what if you use y-axis? Okay, if you use y-axis, you can integrate from here to here first. Yeah, From here to here, integrate straight line, and then plus with the curve. Because this one is 3. Yeah, 3, this one is 6, right? So you can integrate from 3 to 6, straight line, and then plus with integrate 2 to 3, curve. Okay, so there's two method lah. There's two method. You can use the x-axis also can, y-axis also can. If you use x-axis, you have to minus. But if you use y-axis, you have to plus. Yeah, you have to integrate this and this separately because this is for this region is between straight line and y-axis, and then the region below here is between curve and y-axis. That's why you have to integrate separately. Okay. Okay, both method works. Both method will give you same answer. So I'll just choose the y-axis lah. Whatever. Okay, so let's use the y-axis to integrate. So I have to make sure I put a line here, and I need this number 3. Okay, let me tell you why I cannot straight away integrate from 2 to 6. It's because this region is not between curve and y-axis. You can see it's only from 2 to 3 is between curve and y-axis. That's why you have to integrate separately. Okay. All right, I'm finding area. So let's integrate. Okay, 2 to 3. And I'm using y-axis, so it's dy. So here will be x. And later the x, you have to sub with the curve equation, which is y squared minus 4. Okay, yeah, y squared minus 4. Because the plus 4 moved there, right? And then plus with this one. Okay, of course, you can use the integration method also. But there's a fast way to do it. Because this is a triangle, right? Yeah, because this is a straight line. So you can just do 1 over 2 times base times height. The base will be the 5 here, right? And then the height will be 6 minus 3. So it will be 1 over 2 times 5 times 3. Because 6 minus 3 is 3. So now you just integrate this. So big bracket. Okay, this is also one of the reasons why you use the y-axis is better. If you use x-axis, then you'll be integrate dx. This one will be y already. So for the curve equation, you have to pin out the square, jadi square root lah. And then square root, you have to write power 1 over 2. And then you have to use the special method to integrate. Yeah, you have to straight away take the whole bracket, power 1 over 2 plus 1. And then divide with the power, and then differentiate dalam sekali. But can also lah, can also. Yeah, you will get the same answer if you do like that. Okay, anyways, let's continue. Integrate y squared is y power 3 over 3. Integrate 4 is 4y. Not 4x, 4y, because it's integrate using dy so it should be 4y. To top bracket, 3, 2 minus 5 times 3 divide 2 is 15 over 2. Now, big bracket, okay, dalam sudah tak boleh simplify, so boleh sub 3 masuk. Lepas tu sub 2 masuk, tengah-tengah minus, and then minus 15 over 2. Okay, when you sub 3 inside, 3 power 3, 27, divide 3 is 9 minus 4 times 3 is 12. Sub 2 masuk 2 power 3, 8, 8 over 3 minus 2, 4 times 2 is 8. 9 minus 2 is negative 3 minus 8 over 3 minus 8 is negative 16 over 3 in a big bracket. And then minus with 15 over 2. Negative 3 minus jadi plus. So negative 3 plus 16 over 3. I think it's 7 over 3. Yeah. And then 7 over 3 minus 15 over 2. You're going to get the answer. Wait, why I get negative? Okay, where I did wrong again. Yeah, this one is plus lah. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, I remember I said just now, right? You have to find the area separately and then plus. Yeah, so careless mistake on that part. This should be plus, plus, plus. So let me press again. 7 over 3 plus 15 over 2. Okay, 59 over 6. Okay, ini baru betul. So 59 over 6 unit square because it's area. Okay, soalan C. Find the volume in terms of pi when the shaded region revolves 90 degree about the x-axis. So 90 degree means 90 over 360 lah. 1 over 4. So later, after you integrate, you have to times 1 over 4. Yeah, because when you integrate, you finding for revolving 360. And if you revolve 90, you have to take your answer times with 90 over 360, which is 1 over 4 lah. So you have to take 1 over 4 times with, okay, this one you have to find volume of region revolving x-axis. Okay, for volume, you can't choose which axis. You have to follow what they say. If they say revolve x-axis, then you have to integrate dx already. Okay, yeah. So remember just now I told you, right, when you do when you use integration to find area volume, you have to ask yourself the two questions. First thing is which axis you want to use to integrate, and then second thing is how many times you have to integrate. But for volume, you don't have to worry about which axis because you already know it has to be dx. So automatically it will be pi y squared already. So the only thing you have to ask yourself is integrate berapa kali? Integrate how many times for the region? Okay, this region is the shaded region. They want the volume for the shaded region, which is the same region, right? So confirm you have to integrate dua kali lah. Because I explained already, this region memang tak boleh find it by integrating sekali, kena dua kali. But you have to use the x-axis. Yeah, you have to use the x-axis. So we cannot do it like just now. We have to integrate from 0 to 5. And then you have to integrate dua kali because you have to take yang ni tolak dengan yang ni kan. Yeah, so definitely kena tolak, have to integrate 2 times like that. Okay. And here also pi y square. Okay, let's use a big bracket. Okay, the 1 over 4 the 1 over 4 maybe I'll write like that with a big bracket. Okay, maybe with a bracket like that. Yeah, like that. Yeah. Okay, so 1 over 4 times, okay, you're using x-axis, so you were taking straight line minus curve. Not curve minus straight line, straight line minus curve, because the region between straight line and x-axis is bigger, like that, the trapezium, right? But you tell me you use the trapezium formula. No, 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 no. This is volume, not area of trapezium. So you have to use the integration method, and it will be integrate from 0 to 5. Yeah, 0 to 5 because you're using x-axis. And later the pi boleh hantar depan, and then 0, 5 tulis dx, you left with y square, right? And the y square should be the equation of straight line. Okay, your 5y plus 3x is 30, but I want y square. So we have to work towards getting y square here. Okay, very easy. Just cari y single dulu. 30 minus 3x over 5. Like that. And this one you can pecah. So 30 divided 5 is 6. Negative 3 over 5x is like this. But I want y square. So it's like that. Yang ni square, yang ni pun square. So what's going to happen is, the correct way to expand is 6 square is 36. And then 6 times negative 3 over 5 times 2. So it will be negative 18 over 5x times 2 is negative 36 over 5x. And then the last thing is negative 3 over 5x square. And when you square, the 3 have to square, 5 have to square, x also have to square. So it will be positive 9 over 25 x square. And then dx. Ini cara betul untuk expand. You jangan buat macam ni. You jangan buat macam ni. Like ni square, yang ni square, yang ni square. Itu memang salah lah. That one confirm wrong one. So this is the correct way to kembang. When you kembang, you dapat this one. Okay. Alright. Done for that. Now we have to continue. Okay. Next thing is what? This one, right? I have to minus with this one, the red color one. Okay. You're using x-axis, so 0 to 5 also. And then pi hantar depan. And then the y square, you have to sub with the equation of curve. Okay, but you don't have to pindah already because this one is already y square equals x plus 4. So you just write x plus 4. And you don't even have to square also. No need to square because this one is already y square already. So that's all. So now the only thing left to do is to integrate. Okay, I realize these two things, they both have pi. Yeah. So I can factorize out the pi, and then the pi will join with the 1 over 4 like that, 1 over 4 pi. Yeah, so this pi and pi, I just factor out like that. Okay? And then now we can start to integrate whatever's inside here. Okay, integrate 36 is 36x. Negative 36 over 5 pi when you integrate. Hey, is this pi or x? It's x lah. Where got pi? Oh my god. Okay, I silap. 36 over 5x. So it's plus. Okay, so integrate negative 36 over 5x is left with negative 36 over 5. And then integrate 9 over 25 x squared will be 9 over 25. Open a new bracket, become x power 3 over 3. Yeah, because power plus 1. And then tutup bracket, 5, 0. Okay. And then minus, okay, this one also integrate, right? Integrate this one. It will be, integrate x will be x squared over 2. And then integrate 4 is 4x. And then tutup bracket 5, 0. Okay, okay, let's bracketkan benda ni. Okay, so the 1 over 4 pi stay there. And then, okay, dalam kalau boleh simplify dulu. So I realize this one boleh darab kan? Atas darab atas, bawah darab bawah. Okay. So it will become bracket 36x minus 36 over 5 plus, okay, 9 and 3 can cut, left with 3. So it will be 3x power 3 over 25. And then close the bracket, 5, 0. Minus, okay, this one memang tak boleh simplify already. So can sub, right? Okay, but I don't want to sub first, because I want to do it sekaligus dengan ni. Okay, like that. Alright, so now I will sub. So it become 1 over 4 pi. Okay, this one when you sub, it become there will be two brackets like this. One bracket is to sub 5 inside, another bracket sub 0. Okay, I already know the second bracket will be 0 because when you sub 0, you get 0. Okay, sub 5, 5 times 36, 180, and then minus 36 over. Wait, okay, okay, why so weird one? Hey, wait. Integrate 36 over 5x. Oh my god. Sorry, guys. This one should be 36 over 5. When you integrate, power plus 1 ma. So it should be bracket x power 2 over 2 lah, like that. Yeah, I think I make careless mistake. Yeah, I thought it's differentiate. If you differentiate 36 over 5x, then it's 36 over 5. But when you integrate, it should be like this. So this one, small mistake here. So it should be negative. Okay, this one you can simplify. 36 divided 2 is 18. So it's 18x squared over 5. Yeah, this is the correct one. Okay. Yeah, I just careless dekat sini. Alright, so now sub 5 inside. Okay, sub 5 here. 5 squared is 25. 25 divided 5 is 5. 5 times 18 is negative 90. And then the last one here, sub 5. 5 power 3, 125. Divide 25 times 3, 15. Yeah, so this is the correct one. And then minus with 0 lah. Okay, yang minus, yang ini nanti dulu lah. Let's solve for this first. 180 minus 90 plus 15. 105. Okay, 105. Okay, now we focus on this. Alright, so same thing. Big bracket and then two brackets here. Okay, first one sub 5, 5 squared is 25, so 25 over 2 plus sub here 5 times 4, 20. Sub 0, 0 squared is 0, 0 divided to 0, 4 times 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, alright, like that. Alright, now you end up with 25 over 2 plus 20 here. You can press that, you get 65 over 2. And then bracket lah. Okay, now 1 over 4 pi times with, okay, 105 minus 65 over 2, 145 over 2. And then 145 over 2 divide 4, 145 over 8 with the pi. And then units cube because it's volume, right? Yeah, so that's the answer. Okay, sudah siap. Okay, let's continue with number 10. Okay, what chapter? This one is from 5, chapter 5. Okay, the probability distribution chapter in BM is called Taburan Kebarangkalian. Okay. Alright, so let's read A. Usually when fishing, Pak Ahmad catches fish 60% of the total cast made. So the 60% is the probability lah. If they give you percentage, you can convert. Percentage and probability is like the same thing. Okay, 60% means 0.6, and this is the probability of catching. So I'll just write here catch. So you can find the other probability, which is 1 minus 0.6, 0.4. And this will be the probability of no catch. Okay. Okay, so number 1 says calculate the probability that Pak Ahmad gets 4 fish with 5 casts. Okay, this is definitely under binomial distribution. So we don't need the Z value table for this. We just have to find the NPQ value and then use the probability formula. Okay, the probability formula is Px equals to x equals to NCx, P power x Q power n minus x. So we will use this formula. Okay, the n is definitely 5. Okay, because he throw 5 casts total. And then the 4, that one later baru tengok. What you have to focus now is this. Pak Ahmad gets 4 fish. It means the probability of success is the probability of getting fish. So the probability of success P is the probability of catch 0.6. And then the Q is 0.4. After that, you have to write the big X. Big X means you write down all the possibilities. So out of 5 trials, maybe 0 time you success, or 1 or 2 or 3, 4, 5 like that. 5-0 means you throw 5 times, but you success 0 time lah. Success means you catch 0 times. Or maybe out of 5 you get 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. 5 means 5 kali you try, 5 kali pun you success. 5 kali pun you dapat catch fish. Alright, so sekarang kita kena cari yang dia suruh saja, which is 4. So we just do Px equals 4. So the formula is NC4, which is 5C4, bracket, bracket. This one is P 0.6, Q 0.4. The power here same with the number down here, 4, and then 5 minus 4, you get 1. Okay, tekan semua ni, you get 0.2592. This one I'll write 4 significant figures. Okay, so that is the probability answer. Okay, we can do number 2 here. Okay, so let's read. The number of casts, okay, calculate the number of casts made such that probability of catching at least one fish is 0.9744. Okay, that means the N is don't know. Yeah, the N want to find. Okay, sebab dia suruh cari bilangan lontaran. It means the N don't know. And then they give you probability of catching at least one is 0.9744. So I'm gonna leave some space here and then write Px at least means bigger equals 1, equal to 0.9744. Okay, what you have to ask yourself here is whether the PQ kena terbalik tak? The P and Q value, do I have to switch or stay the same? The answer is the PQ value should stay the same. The P is still 0.6, Q is still 0.4 because the probability yang kita kena cari nanti is still probability of catching fish. Jangan tengok yang at least one dulu. What we have to focus on is the probability of catching lah. So that's why the P and Q is still the same. Okay. Yeah, sometimes you have to flip the P and Q one. Yeah, for the second question, sometimes the P and Q you have to flip. Yeah, you have to switch the P and Q. That one depends on the question lah, but for this one no need. Alright, your X will not be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already. Because for this case, you actually don't know your N. So your big X is actually start from 0 confirm and then 1 and then 2 and then 3 and it keeps going, but I don't know until when. Until N lah. Yeah, but N is not 5. For this question, we don't know the N. So we don't know. And we have to find the probability for bigger equals 1. It means 1 pun kena, 2, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4. It keeps going until I don't know when. Until N lah. Until N. So what we will do is just take 1 minus Px equals 0. Yeah, this is the only way. Because if we don't know the value of N, there's no way for me to know when to stop. Right? So I know the total probability here is 1, so I just take 1 minus 0, then I get the remaining. So this is the only way to do it. So 1 minus Px equals 0, we use the probability formula lah. NC0. So what's the N? N memang tak tahu, memang nak cari. And then P power X will be 0.6, this one 0.4. Okay, the power here will be the same with number down here 0. And then power here will be atas tolak atas, N minus 0 is N equals to 0.9744. Okay, even though we don't know N, walaupun kita tak tahu N, tapi we still can find the N. Because there's some things you can cut here. NC0 is 1, 0.6 power 0 is 1. Yeah, anything C0 is 1. That's why this become 1 already. So it's just left with 1 minus 0.4 power N equals to this. So how to find N? Let's make our N positive first. Because now it's at negative 0.4 power N. So I'll bring it over here, become 0.4 power N. And then the 0.9744 move there, become minus. So 1 minus 0.9744 is 0.0256. And how to find N? Alright, it becomes like indices question already, right? You nak cari N and the N is the power. So what you have to do now is you have to check whether 0.4 and 0.0256, check whether they can change same base or not. Kalau boleh tukar same base, you tukar same base, then you banding the power. Because if same base on both sides, then the power also automatic same already. Okay, so 0.4 and 0.0256, can they change to same base? Okay, actually can. Actually can. But what if you don't know in the exam? Alright, ada satu cara untuk tekan. Just tekan log this bahagi log this. Ya, tekan log ni bahagi log ni. If you dapat jawapan yang cantik, it means jawapan yang boleh tukar fraction. That means boleh tukar same base. If you dapat jawapan yang tak cantik, yang tak boleh tukar fraction, that means kena tak boleh tukar same base lah. Then you have to tambah log in your working. Okay. So if you press log 0.0256 divided log 0.4, your calculator give you 4. It means 4 is a cantik punya jawapan, right? That means you don't have to tambah log in your working. It means they both can change to same base. This one can change to 0.4 power 4. Okay. And since it's already same base, single base on both sides, and it's already same base, then the power you can equal also. So the N is 4. So that's the answer. Okay. So that's it. Okay. Soalan B. Alright, just now soalan A is binomial. So soalan B, high chance will be normal distribution. Yeah, because that's the format they like to ask one. They always like 5 marks binomial, 5 marks normal distribution. Okay, let's see. The assembly at SMK Sembilan starts at 7:20 a.m. Alright. On a certain day, it was found that the students' arrival times at the school are normally. You see? You see the word already, right? Normally. So this is a normal distribution. So later have to use the Z-score table to solve. But before using that, we have to convert to Z. Yeah, we have to take the X value minus mean divide standard deviation to convert to Z and then use the Z-score table. Okay, so normally distributed with a mean of 7:10 a.m. and the probability that the student arrive before 7:05 is 0.238. Oh, they give you probability, So later have to baca dari dalam lah. Okay, find the percentage of students who arrive after the assembly starts. Okay, this question is really weird. It's really weird. Why? Let me tell you why it's weird. Because usually the mean they will give me like a value, right? But this one they give us the actual time, like 7:10 a.m., right? So usually they will give you like for example like mean equals to 20 or 70 or 3.2 or 3.5 like that. But this one they give you 7.1, so it's like the time lah, 7.10 a.m. Okay. And I'm not sure whether you can just anggap dia macam 7.1. Yeah, I'm not sure whether you can do that or not. So what I'm gonna do, I will convert everything to minutes. Yeah, I will convert everything to minutes. So for example, the 7:20 a.m. I will convert to minutes. Okay, 7:20 a.m. Let's anggap uh let's anggap 12 is the zero. Yeah, 12 is the 0 minutes. Right? 12 is the 0 minutes. So 7:20 will be how many minutes? Okay, from here to here already kena tambah 7 hours and 20 minutes, right? Okay, so if you convert everything to minutes, that means the 7 hour have to times 60 to become minutes. Okay, 7 times 60, 420 plus 20 is 740. So that means this one is 420 minutes. So I'll just write here 420 minutes. Yeah, basically just convert everything to minutes. Sorry, 420 plus 20 is 440. Yeah, mistake. Yeah, 440. Okay, same thing with the 7:10. I will do the same thing. 7:10. Okay, how many hours have passed since 12 o'clock? So from 12 o'clock to 7:10 already passed 7 hour 10 minutes. So 7 hour convert to minute is 420, and then plus another 10 minutes is 430. Yeah, 430 minutes. And the last thing is 7:05. Convert to minutes also, 420 plus 5 is 425 minutes. Okay, now everything is in minutes. Now I think it's much more easy to write the information. The assembly start at 7:20. Okay, I think this one not that important maybe. And then found that what I want is the mean, right? Yeah, the mean is 430 lah. Okay, what about the standard deviation? Oh, standard deviation tak bagi, but we need it. Definitely have to find it later. And then they give you probability that the student arrived before this is 0.238. So probability of let x be uh the time. Yeah, x be the time smaller than what? Before right? Before means smaller than 425 is equals to 0.238. Okay, the soalan says find the percentage of students who arrive after assembly starts. Okay, percentage and probability is like linked together one. So if they want to find percentage means find probability. It's the same thing. Okay. So if they say percentage means you find probability and then later your probability answer just times 100, then you get the percentage. Okay, so they want to find percentage ataupun probability of arrive after assembly starts. Okay, assembly starts at 7:20. So what they're asking is actually the px bigger than this lah, 440, right? But of course, you have to convert to z, and you have to take 440 minus mean 430 divide with standard deviation. And the problem is we don't have the standard deviation here, right? So we have to use this information to find out the standard deviation first. After that, only I can masuk dalam sini and then get the final answer lah. Okay. Alright, so I will work towards getting the standard deviation first. Because without that, we cannot find what they want here. Alright, so first thing is convert to Z. Okay, 425 minus mean is 430 divide standard deviation. Standard deviation tak ada, so just write the standard deviation symbol equals to 0.2380. Even though we don't have the standard deviation, we can still solve for this because we have the property answer. Yeah, so we can cari balik. It means later when we baca jadual, we baca dari dalam. Okay, the way I do it is always, okay, ini boleh buat lagi sikit kan? Atas memang boleh tolak. So you get -5 over standard deviation equals to 0.2380. And then I will always tell students, if dalam sini tak boleh buat, you will let C equals to whatever inside. And then after that, you have to lukis. Yeah, you have to lukis. And you have to lukis berapa kali? 2 kali. Why 2 kali is because you want to know whether your C is positive or negative. Okay. You can only baca your jadual when it's Z bigger positive. Okay. Now it's Z smaller and you don't even know this one is positive or negative. Well, actually, it's negative lah. Okay lah, but it's still better to draw it. Yeah, it's still better to draw. Okay, so the C could be negative. The C could also be positive. That's why you have to draw 2 times. But one of these will be wrong. And then we have to ignore the wrong one later. Reject the wrong one. Okay, let's do the shading first. Smaller means lorek ke kiri. From C onwards to ke kiri. So you already know the C is negative lah because the If you want to know which one to choose here, you have to look at the probability answer. If the probability answer is less than 0.5, then you choose the small kawasan. And then vice versa, if it's bigger than 0.5, choose the big kawasan. So this one is 0.2 something, so you have to go with the small kawasan. So this is wrong. So now that you know your C is negative, then you know what method to do already, which is PZ smaller C equals to 0.238. But you know your C is negative, so can change to PZ bigger positive equals to 0.238. And then you can tengok jadual already because it's already Z bigger positive. But after you tengok jadual, you have to add a negative yourself here because the C is negative. Okay, okay, let me explain a bit more detail. When you draw 2 times here, mesti salah satu kena ambil 1 minus and then the other one tak payah ambil 1 minus. Okay, and for this case, we don't have to ambil 1 minus. Okay, if it's Z smaller positive, then we have to take 1 minus because this one you can see the shaded region. Okay, the way I teach is when it cuts the Y vertical axis like that, you have to take 1 minus. Yeah, when it cross over to the other side like that. Okay, so for this case, you don't have to take 1 minus. Then what method you do is just smaller negative can jadi bigger positive because it's symmetrical mah. So smaller negative, you can straight away flip to the other side, jadi bigger positive like that. So now the only thing left to do is just refer the table lah. Yeah, just refer the table. But you have to baca dari dalam because 0.238 is the probability answer. So we have to straight away pergi dalam cari 0.2380 atau lebih sikit. So let's go to the jadual and cari 0.238 atau lebih sikit. Okay, where's the Z value table? Alright, here it is. So let me just find it. 238, 26, 25, 24, 24, 238, 9. But I want 238. So I have to tolak 9. So let's go to the tolak section, cari 9. So the answer is 0.713. Okay, 0.713. But of course, you have to put a negative. Okay, and students sometimes always forget this. So you all have to be careful. That's why when I teach my student, I always tell them, if you know the C is negative, you should straight away go to the last baris, tulis siap-siap the negative. Just in case you forget the negative. Alright, after you have your C, now you can substitute back the C with the negative 5 over standard deviation. Now you can find your standard deviation. Alright, the negative can cut on both sides. Yeah, because negative, you have negative positive. So you just left with 5 over standard deviation equals to this. And the standard deviation can move up jadi times. And then 0.73 move down jadi bahagi. 5 divide 0.713, 7.013. So that is your standard deviation. But that's not the final answer. That's just the standard deviation. What they want is actually this. So you can sub the 7.013 inside here. Yeah, because they ask for percentage of students who arrive after assembly starts. So this one is the probability of after assembly starts lah. So now you can find the Z value for this. You will get 1.426. And then now you can tengok jadual. Okay, when you tengok jadual this time, you have to tengok dari luar. Tadi tengok dari dalam kan, ini tengok dari luar. And you have to straight away go and find 1.4 and then 2 and then 6. Oh, one more thing. When you press this in your calculator, and if you tengok, and if you kena tengok dari luar, you have to write in 3 decimal place. Yeah, because if you tengok dari luar, you can only baca sampai 3 decimal place. Okay. So that's why I write 1.426 lah. Okay, so I need this value and this value right now. So let's go to the jadual and find 1.426. So I will use the red color. Alright, 1.426 is here, here, here. So the answer is 0.0778, but I have to minus with the 6 is 8 lah. So when you take this minus 8, you minus dekat hujung sini So minus dekat hujung sini, so dia akan jadi 0.0770. So the answer is 0.077. Okay. So you just go there and then write 0.077. Okay, for this, you don't have to worry about answer being negative. Because this one you are finding probability. Probability mana ada negative, right? For the Z value is different lah. If you cari balik Z, you might it might be negative sometimes. But for soalan this case, you don't have to worry about the probability being negative because probability tak ada negative. Okay, now the last step is to change the percentage. Very simple. If you want to change the percentage, just times 100, so it's 7.7%. In other words, 7.7 divide 100 will give you 0.077. Okay, percentage divide 100, right? Yeah, so that's the answer. Okay, so 5 marks for this, 5 marks for A, so total 10 marks question. Okay, that's all. Okay, 11, this should be a 10 marks question also. Yeah. All the section B, section C soalan semua 10 marks one. So let's check. 5 marks, 5 marks. Yeah, correct. Okay, this one is definitely coordinate geometry. Confirm. Form 4, chapter 7, coordinate geometry. Okay, diagram 7 shows point A, point B, point C. We should label this. So A is 2, -1. Okay, B is 6, 3, label 6, 3. And then C is 10R. Oh, they never give us the point C. Yeah, the Y coordinate never give you, right? So the point C is not complete. So I'm sure later they will give some other information to help me find the R. Okay, now let's see what next. Given point D is the midpoint of BC. Okay, D is the midpoint. So that means this line right here and this line right here has the same distance. Ataupun sama panjang. And can we use the midpoint formula to find point D? The answer is no, because I don't have point C. The point C is not complete. If the point C is complete, then I can straight away take this and this, use the midpoint formula to find point D. But I don't have the point, but cannot do that because point C is not complete. Okay, let's see what other information. AB is perpendicular to AD. All right, I need to draw some lines. AB line, this one, and the AD line is perpendicular. So draw like that, and then put a 90-degree here, and it means that they are perpendicular. And usually when perpendicular, what you have to do is you do this m1 times m2 equals -1. And in this case would be the gradient of AB times gradient of AD equals to -1. And I can find gradient of AB actually. Yeah, because you have two coordinates already, right? So you can do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 to find the gradient here. And after getting here, you can take -1 divide answer to get gradient of here. Okay, okay, but I'm not sure whether the soalan want me to do that, so let's leave it for now. And the distance of BD is 2 square root 26. Alright, so the distance here will be 2 square root 26 also lah. Here's 2 square root 26, and here also 2 square root 26. Because they have the same distance. Okay, now we can do A1, find the value of R. Okay, find value of R means find the Y coordinate of point C. Okay, so let's think how I can find it. Definitely can use midpoint formula, unless I have point D lah. If I have point D, then I can use the midpoint formula. Yeah, ini tambah ini bahagi 2 sama dengan ni, and then we banding, right? But so definitely I will give up using the midpoint method. So what other way? Okay, what if I use distance? Because they got mentioned something about distance, right? So yeah, we can use the distance formula to find R. But you cannot find distance of CD because don't have point D. Yeah, don't have point D. So if the point C also not complete, point D also don't have, then definitely not possible. So what you can do is find distance of BC. Because you have point B and you also have the whole line punya distance. Okay, which is 2 square root 26 times 2, which is 4 square root 26. So I will just use the distance formula. The distance formula is square root bracket square plus bracket square. And it will be equals to 4 square root 26 because I'm finding the distance of B to C. And the formula bracket here have to write x minus x, y minus y. So it will be 10 minus 6, R minus 3. And yeah, the distance is, the whole line distance is 2 square root 26 plus 2 square root 26, which is 4 square root 26. Okay. All right, now it's time to solve for R. Let's get rid of the square root. How to get rid is square both sides. So it will be like this, square this, and then this one also square. Okay, so what happens? The square root hilang already lah. Left with whatever inside. 10 minus 6, 4, 4 square, 16. Plus R minus 3 square. This one you can expand. But usually when I do this kind of question, I will not expand. So I'll just leave it like this. And then the 4 have to square, become 16. Square root 26 have to square also, become 26. Yeah, because square root square can cut. So you just left with R minus 3 square. Now I will press 16 times 26 minus 16. So my calculator give me 400. Okay, 400. So this one times and then pindah this one. So I get 400. So there's a reason why I said I choose not to expand this. Because I can pindah the square to the other side now, right? So it becomes plus minus square root 400. So square root 400 got two answers, 20 and -20, right? So I have to split this into two king. One is 20, one is -20. So the first R answer is 20 plus 3, 23. And then -20 plus 3 is -17. Okay. Okay, what if you expand this? Can also. If you expand, you get R square minus 6R plus 9. And then the 400 I have to bring here because I have to so jadi general form equals 0. And then press calculator, the ABC. And then you will get same answer also. Yeah, so can also if you want to do like that. Alright, now I end up with two answers for R. Okay, whenever I get two answers, we always need to check with the question whether we have to reject or we have to keep them both. So do we have to reject or keep them both? So let's tengok balik the soalan. R, where's R? R is this. And you can see the R is actually the Y coordinate of point C, which is here. So logic tak kalau ini positive 23? Tak logic kan? No, doesn't make any sense. How can this be 23? This should be negative numbers sebab dia bawah 0. So we have to reject this answer and go with the negative 17 because this is the only answer that makes sense. Okay, so we can just write since R has to be smaller than 0, R must be negative 17. That means the point C is actually 10, negative 17. Okay, okay, let's move on to question 2. All right, find the area of triangle ABC. Okay, ABC. All right, so I need to draw a line lah. That means, all right, so ABC is like this, and I'm finding the triangle. This triangle. Oh, okay, I'm finding this triangle. This one, huh? Okay, what I will do is I will just use the. We already have the ABC coordinate. So what formula we use is the one we learned in coordinate geometry lah. The 1/2 modulus. And since we already have all the ABC coordinate, the vertex punya coordinate, so just put it in lah. So point A is 2, -1, point B is 6, 3, point C is 10, -17, and before you tutup modulus, have to repeat the first one, 2, -1. And then now you start to darab silang. So always start dari atas and then darab silang macam tu. 2 times 3, 6 tambah. Okay, yang tambah ni kena tulis siap-siap. Kalau tak, you akan get confused with the sign later. So tambah tulis siap-siap dulu, and then 6 times -17, -102. So just open a bracket, -102, and then tambah kena tulis siap-siap. 10 times -1 is -10 macam tu, and then minus. Alright, darab macam ni pula. -1 times 6 is -6. So bracket -6, and then minus 3 times 10 is 30, minus -17 times 2 is -34. So you can do like that. Okay, now we can tekan semua ni dalam calculator. 6 minus 102 minus 10 plus 6 minus 30 plus 34, -96. Modulus, you get positive 96. Divide 2, you get 48 units square. And that's it, right? So 5 marks for this. Okay, that's all. Okay, B1, point P move. Yeah, locus question. Okay, yeah. Usually for the last part of the coordinate geometry question, they like to ask locus one. Okay, point P move to form a circle passing through ABD. Find the equation of locus P. All right. When you are finding equation of circle, you have to use the distance formula. Okay. But they did mention that the circle passes through ABD. So let's draw out the circle. So it has to passes through ABD. So like that. Okay, maybe something like that. All right. So this is how the circle looks like. You can see it passes through A, B, and D. Okay. All right. When you find equation of circle, you need two information. Okay, you need two information. Okay, before that, we have to let point P is xy first. Yeah, because that's the moving point, right? That's why you don't see the point P in the diagram. Yeah, P is the circle lah. It's the circle. So first step is to let P first, and then to find the equation of circle, you have to have two information. First information is you need the center coordinate. Yeah, you need the center coordinate, and then next thing is you need the radius. Yeah, you need these two information. The center of the circle punya coordinate and the radius. So for example, let's say you have the center coordinate is 1, 2, and then the radius is 3. Then you can find the equation of circle. Yeah, because the moving point will be xy. So what you do is use the distance formula equals to 3. And then here you just do x minus 1 square plus y minus 2 square. Like that. And then if you continue, you get the equation of circle. Okay. Yeah, because the distance is always 3. Distance between center and the circle side of the circle is always 3. Okay. So do we have these two information? The answer is no, because we don't have the center coordinate. Yeah, we don't have the center coordinate. All right. How to find the center coordinate? Okay. This BD line, can we assume that this is the diameter? Can we say this BD line is the diameter? Because if BD is the diameter, then I can find the center of circle already, because the center will be exactly middle of BD. That means we can use the BD punya midpoint formula, use midpoint of BD to find the center coordinate. But the problem is this the diameter? Okay, so if I give you a circle like this, if I join a line like this, you can only say is this a diameter? If the center is here and this line Can I use the midpoint of these 2 points to find the center? The answer is no, right? Yeah, just because dia sentuh dia punya side doesn't mean it's diameter. Okay, dia kena passes through center baru boleh kita panggil diameter. For example, like this, like this. Dia kena melalui center baru boleh diameter. So tell me, is this the diameter? It looks like the diameter, but is this the diameter? Okay, I'll tell you now. This is the diameter. Okay, this is the diameter. And the reason why I say it's diameter is not because it tarik from the side of circle. Hey, I told you already, even though dia tarik from the side doesn't mean it's diameter one. So let me tell you why the reason is diameter is because of this 90 degree. So when you tarik, when you have a diameter and you tarik two lines to the side of circle, you will always get 90. So if this is 90, that means this has to be diameter. You know why? Because in a right angle triangle, the hypotenuse is always the longer side. And in a circle, the diameter is always longer than, is always the longer side also. So that means if this 90, then this is definitely the diameter. Okay. Yeah, you learned before in maths. If you have a circle and you have a diameter, you tarik to the side of circle, you will always get 90. Even if you tarik here, get 90. Even if you tarik here, get 90. Tarik to the side, get 90. Tarik to the side, get 90. Tarik to the side, get 90. So that means if this is 90, this must be the diameter. That means the 2 square root 26 is the diameter lah. So if you divide by 2, you get square root 26, square root 26. So that is the radius. So I already have one of the information, which is the radius. Now I need the center coordinate, but I need to use BD punya midpoint. I need to find BD midpoint to find the center here. And I don't have point D, right? So that's a problem. So how do I find point D? Well, use the DC punya jarak lah. Yeah, find the DC distance. I think that's the only way. Let me think. Okay, there's two methods actually to find point D. You can either use find the DC distance equals to 2 square root 26, or you can also use the midpoint formula of BC. Because you remember, right? D is the midpoint of BC. Okay, so yeah, I think I'll do it like that. I will use midpoint of BD. Sorry, I will use midpoint of BC to find point D, and then use midpoint formula again to find the center coordinate. So use midpoint formula 2 times lah. Yeah, kena guna midpoint formula 2 kali. Alright, so the let PXY that one later lah, tak guna lagi. So let's find the point D first. So the formula of midpoint is x plus x divided 2, y plus y divided 2. So I'm finding point D now. So it'll be 6 plus 10 divided 2, 3 minus 17. 6 plus 10, 3 plus with negative 17. So you will get your point D from here. 16 divided 2 is 8. 3 minus 17, negative 14 divided 2, negative 7. So now that you have your point D, now you can find the center of circle coordinate, because BD is the diameter. So diameter, when you cut in half, you get radius, radius, and then the middle, that will be the center lah. So use the midpoint again. So from B to D, so midpoint of BD. So I'll just write center of circle here lah. Center of circle. X plus x divided 2, y plus y divided 2 also. So let's see what we have to plus. 6 plus 8, 3 plus negative 7. 6 plus 8, 3 plus negative 7. Okay, here is 14 divided 2 is 7. Here is negative 4 divided 2 is negative 2. Okay, with the center coordinate now, we can find the equation of circle. Just use this and the radius, the distance, to find the equation of circle. Okay, when you find the equation of circle, you need to make sure you know the radius, the distance of from the center to the side of circle, which is the radius lah. Okay, the radius is square root 26. So that means we use the distance formula, and then the other side should be square root 26, because the radius is square root 26. And you can see the square root 26 is always the distance from the center to the circle, to the side of the circle. And we already let the side of circle be point P, right? So that means here we have to find the distance of P to the red color line lah. Okay lah, I'll just erase this lah. Okay, so you know the meaning lah. Means here I'm finding the distance from the center of circle to point P. Okay, yeah. So from point P to the center of circle. So it'll be x minus 7 and then y minus negative 2, which is y plus 2. Yeah, because point P is the red color circle. And then this is the center. So the distance between them is always square root 26 like that. Alright, now you can just simplify this, then you get the answer. Okay, first we get rid of square root. Square both sides first. So the square root and square boleh hilangkan. So tinggal dalam sajalah. Okay, x minus 7 square, when you expand, you get x square minus 14x plus 49. And then y plus 2 square, expand, you get y square. And then 2y times 2 is 4y. 2 square is 4. Okay, square root 26 square is just 26. So now we just have to arrange. Okay, when we're doing locus question, we always want our answer equals 0. It means we have to susun everything on one side equals 0. So x square, tulis dulu, followed by y square, followed by negative 14x, followed by 4y. Okay, 49 plus 4 minus 26, you boleh tekan, and you will get 27. So that's the equation of circle answer. Okay, okay, that's all. Alright, ada satu lagi soalan sini, number 2. Okay, I will do it down here. Okay, wait for me, I make space. Okay, so for question 2, I'll do it here. So given the equation of straight line AC is y equals 3 minus 2x, determine whether the straight line AC is tangent to the circle or not. Okay, circle is like this, right? Okay, let's just do it in the diagram. So where's AC? So let's use another color here, green color. So AC is from here to here. Okay, AC is from here to here. So they're asking you whether this green color line is tangent to the circle. Okay, if the line is tangent to the circle, the line will only touches the circle at one point. If the line touches at one point, then only it's called the tangent line. Okay, so as you can see from the diagram, you can see already AC line definitely is not the tangent because it touches the circle at two different points. So it's not tangent lah. But of course, you cannot just write not tangent here. You have to show working because it's worth 5 marks. So how do you show the working? Very easy. Just do simultaneous. Yeah, take the equation of circle and equation of AC, do simultaneous. And then after that, do b square minus 4ac bigger than 0. I mean, no, just do b square minus 4ac. Yeah, just do b square minus 4ac. No need to do bigger 0. Yeah, because we don't know whether it's bigger 0 equals 0 or smaller 0. Yeah, we're trying to determine, right? Yeah, we're trying to determine. Actually, we know already lah, it's not, because we actually know already it's not tangent because from the diagram, right? But we don't know whether this diagram is accurate or not. And also, we need to get full mark to, yeah, so we have to show the working. Yeah, so that's what I will do now. So the AC line is this, that's the equation. And then the equation of circle pula, tadi saya sudah cari. Yeah, it's down here. So now we just have to do the simultaneous. So I'll do penggantian lah. So it become x square plus y square minus 14x plus 4y plus 27 equals 0. And then the y here is 3 minus 2x, 3 minus 2x. And of course, later when I expand this, I will get a quadratic. But after getting quadratic, you don't have to solve for x. You don't have to get the x. Okay? But of course, if you find for x also, you will know already it's two different roots, right? But the correct way is to do b square minus 4ac. Okay? Alright, let's simplify first. So here will be x square. Okay, when you expand this, you have to take 3 square, which is 9. And then 3 times negative 2x times 2. So negative 6x times 2, negative 12x. And then negative 2x square is positive 4x square. Minus 14x, yang ni kembang dapat 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8x. Plus 27 equals 0. Alright, susun jadi general form lah. X square dengan x square boleh buat 5x square. Negative 12x minus 14x minus 8x. Negative 34x. Last thing is 9 plus 12 plus 27, which is 21 plus 27, 48 equals 0. Alright, sampai sini you dah dapat quadratic, right? And you can solve, okay, of course you can tekan calculator, the ABC, masukkan and then cari nilai x, right? And definitely they will give you two answers, and the two answers will be the x coordinate for the intersection point. One here, right? The two intersection point punya x coordinate. Kalau you cari x. But the soalan, did they ask you to find the intersection point? No. They asked you to determine whether the AC is tangent or not. Tentukan sama ada garis lurus adalah tangent. So dia tak suruh pun you cari intersection point. That's why I will not do it like that. Instead, I will do b square minus 4ac. Because the b square minus 4ac will tell me whether this will have two answer, one answer, or no answer. If later your answer come out is bigger 0, that means you have two different roots lah. If equals 0, you have one root, or you can say two equal roots. If you come out negative, that means it's no roots. Okay. But so negative 34 is the B, and then A is 5, C is 48. So just press this, and then you will get the discriminant. Okay, don't forget the B square minus 4AC is called discriminant. And the name for it is called discriminant. Dalam bahasa Melayu is the pembezalaian. So the pembezalaian you dapat is 196. So you can see it's bigger than 0. So what does it mean then? It means this quadratic equation has two different roots. Two different real roots. Yeah, two different real roots. Because the discriminant B square minus 4AC is bigger than 0. So now we can answer the question. Is the line AC is tangent? So we can say no. Line AC is not tangent. Yeah, line AC is not tangent to circle. To the circle. Okay. Yeah. Unless this one is 0 lah. If the B square, if this one is 0, that means it's tangent. Because if this is 0, means you will only get one X answer. So if it's one X answer, that means there's only one intersection point lah. Okay. Okay, but this one is no lah. Okay, let's write the reason. So since the B square minus 4AC, the discriminant is bigger than 0, so the line AC intersect the circle at two different points. Yeah, I think if you write like that, it's good enough already. Okay, you all understand, right? So we say no, AC is not tangent, and then the reason is because since the discriminant is positive, bigger than 0, that's why line AC will intersect at two different points. So it's not a tangent. Tangent line can only intersect at one point. Okay, so that's all for this question. Okay, now we are at bahagian C. So bahagian ini mengandungi 4 soalan, jawab 2 soalan. Okay, I will jawab all 4 questions except the kinematics. Yeah, it means I will only jawab 3 questions lah. Okay, let's start with number 12. This one is definitely index. So from 4 chapter 10. Alright, so table 3 shows the price index and the change in price index of 4 material A, B, C, D, which are used in making a handbag of brand Spade. Okay, so making handbag kena ada 4 material. Diagram 8 represents the percentage of usage of material used to make the handbag in the year 2019. Okay, this is definitely the weightage. So 35%, 15, 40. Okay, I can find the D percentage. Just take 100 minus minus minus. So what do you get? 100 minus 40 minus 35 minus 15. Okay, I got 10. So the weightage of D is 10. Okay, we can write the weightage beside the table like this to make things simple, right? So A is 35, B is 15, C is 40, D is 10, like that. Okay, and then what is this column? This column is price index 2022 based on 2019. So that means this one is what? The I for 22 over 19. Okay. All right. Then what about this? Change in price index from 2022 to 2025. So this is trying to tell you the I also, but it's for 25, 22. But they tell you the percentage change, right? So you can convert to the I, very easy. If they say decrease, you make 100 minus. If they say increase, you 100 plus. So if they say 5% decrease is 100 minus 5, 95. No change means 100. Yeah, no change means 100 plus 0 lah, 100. Okay, 15% increase is 100 plus 15, 115. 10% decrease, 100 minus 10 is 90. Okay, so we have two price index with different years. Okay, A, the price of material D in the year 2022 is 35 ringgit. Find the corresponding price in the year 2019. Okay, definitely have to use the price index formula lah. Yeah, when finding price, you have to use the I formula, which is the P1 over P0 times 100 formula. But they did mention it's the price of D. So nanti kita hanya boleh tengok D sahaja. Okay, kita hanya boleh tengok D sahaja. So let's write down the information first. The RM35 is price 2022. So price 2022 is 35 ringgit. And they want to find price in 2019. So price 2019 equals to question mark. So confirm use this formula. So I equals to P1 over P0 times 100. Okay, I always teach my student, write the year for the price first. Don't write for the I first. Okay, write for the price first. So between 2022 and 2019, which one atas? Okay, which one is the latest year? Yang latest tulis atas. So the latest year is 2022. So that one is atas lah. 19 yang tu bawah. So now only you write the year for the I. So the automatic one, the I punya tahun will match with this, which is 22 or 19 lah. So now you can masukkan nilai yang you ada 35, 22, so 35 atas lah. And then 19 nak cari. And then I 22, 19 you can masuk 140. Okay, you cannot masuk all this ah. Walaupun ini semua pun 22, 19, but the soalan got say is the price of D. For material Ds. That's why you can only tengok yang ni 140. And please don't go and masuk 90. Yang tu tak boleh. Yang tu tahun dia tak sama. Itu 25, 22. Saya nak yang 22, 19 punya. So it can only be 140 lah. Okay, what if the soalan never mention A, B, C or D? They never mention like which material. Okay, then you take the composite index. If in case if they never mention about any A, B or C or D, never mention anything here, then you take the composite index. Okay, now we can find this. How to find P19? Okay, I will do very slow for you. Times 100 jadi divide 100. 140 divided is 1.4. To find the P19, very easy. This one just hantar atas jadi darab. And then 1.4 pindah bawah jadi bahagi. So just tekan 35 divide 1.4. You get 25. Okay, I have to write RM for this because it's the price. Okay, so better you write the RM lah. Okay, now let's do B. Calculate the composite index for the cost of making handbag in the year 2025 based on 2019. Nak cari composite index, alamak ini senang. So the composite index formula is I, there's a line on top and then they want for year 25 or 19. So always write the year. Okay, the formula is take the sum of I darab weightage bahagi dengan sum of weightage. Okay, the formula is like this. Sum ataupun jumlah I darab weightage over the sum of weightage. So for the I, you have to choose this I or this I. Look at the year lah. They want 2519. So is there 2519? Oh, tak ada ah. Okay, so dia tanya macam ni. Alright, so I think I have to erase all this already. Wait. So I have to erase this. You know why, right? Because we need to find the I for 2519 first. Here. So what we have to do from B here is we have to do smiley face. Because we have 2219 and 2522. So we use the smiley face method because 3 years is involved, right? So we just draw a smiley face and then we masukkan the year. Okay, the first year is 2019 followed by 2022 followed by 25. And I'm doing it for A punya dulu So 117 is 2219. So here 95 is 2522. So this is 95. And then nak cari bawah. So for A, the price index for 2519 will be yang bawah sini. So the formula is always yang bawah sama dengan atas darab atas bahagi 100. So 117 times 95 divided 100. And then you will get the answer here is 111.15. But of course you have to do the same thing for B, for C, for D. For B, for C, for D. And then only you can use the composite index formula. Okay, I know some student will ask this. They will say like, sir, what if I do like that? I find the composite index for 2219, and then I find the composite index for 2522, and then I just do one smiley face to get the composite index for 2519. All right. I don't recommend. Yeah, I don't recommend doing it like this. Because if you do like that, your answer might be slightly different. You know why? It's because all the price here is not the same. I mean, the change in price index is not the same. Yeah, other 95, other 100, 115, 90. Yeah, you can only do like that when all the I here stay never change. All the I here is the same. Then only you can use the method I said just now, which is doing one smiley face. Means you find composite index, and then do one smiley face. Cara tu hanya boleh guna apabila semua sini nilai sama. So for this cannot do like that. I don't recommend. I feel like if you do like that, the answer will be slightly different and it will not be same with the schema. Okay. The most accurate way to do this is you do 4 kali smiley face and then only use the composite index formula. Okay. Okay, so the next one I have to do another smiley face. But if you're lazy like me, you can just tengok balik the first smiley face. So the 117 will be replaced with 110, right? And then 95 will be replaced with 15. No, with 100, sorry. So you already know what will happen. So 25 or 19, because just now you take this one darab this one divide 100. So for B also will be same. This one darab this one divide 100. And you will get 110. And then now for C, same thing lah. For the I for 25, 19, you already know if you draw a smiley face, it will be this one darab this one divide 100. 126 times 115 divide 100. So what do you get? 144.9. Okay, I need space for one more. So, all right, enough. That's enough space already. Okay, for D, okay, so let's separate it nicely. Okay, so now I will do for D. So it will be same thing. I'm finding I for 25, 19. All right, 140 darab 90 divide 100. Okay, I press my calculator. I got 126. Okay, not finished yet. I still belum cari composite index lagi. So the composite index for 25 over 19 will be, sekarang kita boleh buat satu line yang panjang, and then atas kita boleh buat guna tu formula lah. So the formula is I darab weightage jumlahkan. So the I will be 111.15, and then later darab with the A weightage plus with 110 times with the B weightage plus with 144.9 times with the C weightage plus with 126 times with the D weightage. So now let's tengok balik what's the weightage. 35, 15, 40, 10. 35, 15, 40, 10. And then the total weightage is 100 lah because percent mah. Okay, so let me dapatkan jumlah atas. So if you tekan semua nilai dekat atas, what will you get? So you will get 12596.25. Then divide by 100, you get 125.9625. Yeah, 125.9625. Okay, of course you can write two decimal place. Just write 125.96 can also. But kalau saya akan tulis the whole thing because dia tak ada banyak-banyak decimal place pun. Dia stop dekat sini je. So lebih baik you just write the whole thing lah. Yeah. Kalau dia banyak-banyak decimal place, then maybe I'll just stop at two decimal place. Okay, soalan C. Find the maximum number of handbags that can be produced using an allocation of 10,000. Okay, allocation, I always tell my student, it always means smaller equals. Yeah, because allocation is like maximum. So the maximum is 10,000. In the year 2025, if the cost of producing handbag is 250 in the 2019. Okay, I feel like the 10,000 you tak boleh tengok dulu. Yeah, you tak boleh tengok dulu. This is like after you cari you punya price, then baru you banding you punya harga dengan 10,000. So for now, what we have to look at is this information. So the allocation maximum in 2025 is 10,000. But the cost for is 250 in 2019. So since it's cost, I'll just use keys to represent cost, and it's the 2019 punya cost is 250, right? So macam mana nak tahu whether it's enough or not? No, they never ask enough or not. They asked for the maximum. They asked for the maximum number of handbag. Maximum that can be produced. So I have to find the cost in 2025 first lah. Betul lah. Yeah, after finding the cost 2025, then only we take the cost. Take 10,000 divide answer. Yeah, because 10,000 is the allocation. It means 10,000 is the amount you have lah. So the maximum number of handbag yang you boleh hasilkan is 10,000 divide with this, right? Okay, but let's find this first. So whenever we finding price, we definitely use the first formula. There's no other way. Okay, so let's write the first formula. I equals to price bahagi price times 100. All right, same thing. Don't write the price for the I first. Write the tahun for the P first. I selalu ajar cara sama. Okay, so always write the year for the price first. Okay, there's only 2 years to choose from, 19 and 25. So which one is the more recent year, the more latest year, 25. So yang tu atas, and then 19 bawah, and the tahun for the I will automatic match with here. So you'll be 25, 19 here. Now you can substitute everything inside. Okay, yang mana yang kita nak cari? P25 yang nak cari. That means we have to have this and this lah. Dua-dua ni kena ada. So ada tak P19? Ada 250. And then for the I25 19, boleh tak saya ambil dari sini? Ini. Boleh tak? Ini semua I25 19, right? So can I take any of these four values? The answer is no. If you take any of these, salah already. Okay? The one you have to take is the composite index. Let me tell you why. It's because the soalan never mentioned whether it's material A, B, C, or D. If they never mention which material, that means you have to take the composite index. Okay? Yeah, I mentioned it in my A just now also, right? Just now when I explained A, I told you already. Kalau dia tak ada mention A, material A, B, C, D means you take the composite index. And it has to be the year also ngam, 2519. So yeah lah, the year is already matched. So it's 125.9625. So now I can find the price of the handbag. Actually, it's the cost. Yeah, cost. Okay, 125.9625 divide 100 times 250. So you get 314.91. 314.91. Okay, let me just check with my calculator. 9625 divide 100 times 250. Yeah. Why different? 125.9625 divide 100 times 250. Okay lah, correct lah. 314.9. Actually, it's 90625. But if it's a price, you just write 2 decimal place. Yeah, because RM dia boleh sampai 2 decimal place saja. Okay, now we know that that's the cost of the handbag in year 2025. But you have the allocation of 10,000 ringgit. So what is the maximum number of handbag that can be produced? Well, the maximum number of handbag that can be produced will be 10,000 ringgit. That's the amount that you have. Divide with this 314.91, which is the cost of one handbag. So after you divide, you will get the number lah. Okay, I get 31.76, but this is number of handbag. Is bilangan handbag tak boleh ada decimal kan? Takkanlah you hasilkan 0.76 handbag. Betul? Mesti satu complete handbag. So the maximum you can go is 31. Okay. Okay, I know mesti ada student yang akan tanya, Sir, bukan 32 ke? Ini 31.7 kena bundarkan mah. This is already more than 5 kena plus 1. Bukan tengok macam tu lah. Okay. When you take 31 or 32, bukan tengok digit macam ni. You tengok the symbol actually. Maximum means, I told you right, smaller sama dengan. So, you punya answer kena ambil kecil daripada ni ataupun sama dengan ni. So, what is the integer that is smaller or equals to this is 31 lah. The 0.76, we don't count it as one complete handbag. Yeah, so it's only maximum 31 handbags saja. So remember, maximum means smaller equals. Yeah, so maximum dia boleh hasilkan 31 je. 32 tak boleh. Tak cukup. Tak cukup duit. 32 tak cukup duit. So you have to choose amount yang smaller or equals to this. Alright, let's go to D. Okay, what's the D says? The cost of production is expected to increase by 20% from the year 2022 to 2025. So definitely we can write the index here already. So from 2025 over 22 and the increase 20%. So 120 lah. And since they never mention any material here, they never say material A, B, C, or D. It means this is the composite index. Yeah, composite index for 25, 22. Okay, and then calculate the percentage of change in the cost production from the year 2019 to 2025. Okay, cari percentage change means cari the index. So the index for 25 over 19. And it's also the composite index because they never mention whether it's material A, B, C, or D. So it's the composite. Equals to question. Okay, 2519 bukan sudah ada ke? Sini lah. 125.9625. So weird this question. But if I write 125.9625 here, then I definitely know the percentage change already lah. I have to write increase. Yeah, because they ask for percentage change, so you have to write increase or decrease. So it'll be increase 25.9625%, right? But then if I do like that, then this information become useless already, right? And also this question is worth 3 marks. So I don't think it's that easy lah. So let's try to do it. Let's try to make sure we use this information. So what if I want to use this information to find this? So what we can do, 25, 22 punya composite. Oh my god, sini pun ada bagi mah. 25, 22 punya I. Okay, so I'm gonna try to take this one, darab this one. I'm trying to find my own composite index for 25, 22 because I want to check whether it's same with 120 or not. Yeah, so 95 times 35 plus 100. 95 times 35 plus 100 times 15 plus 115 times 40 plus 90 times 10 divide 100. Okay, wait, times 35 plus 15 plus 115 times 40 plus 90 times 10. Okay, I don't even get the same. Yeah, the D, when I try to find my own composite index for 25, 22, it's not even the same. So what's wrong with this question? I don't understand. Okay, that means D is like completely apa? Completely not same with the table lah. Betul lah. That means memang langsung tak boleh guna. Langsung, yeah, it's not even cannot use the ABC answer lah. That means. So I think what we have to do now is to find our own composite index for 2219 from here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the only way. Find composite index from 2219. Yes, and then use the smiley face. Yeah, after finding the 2219, after getting this answer, do the smiley face to get this. And then after getting this, then we write the percentage change. Yeah, that's the only way. If we want to use this information in our working, we have to do like that. Okay. Yeah, so let's do like that. All right, 22. But this question is very weird lah. Yeah, it's very weird because most of the index question is like you use back the answer from before. But this one is like I don't know. Yeah, let's just do it like that lah. Okay, 117 times 35. Okay, actually I can tiru here for the weightage. So it will be 117 times 35 plus with okay, what's the index? 110, 126, 140. 110, 126, 140. Okay, for the weightage, you can tiru daripada sini. 35, 15, 40, 10. 15, 40, 10. Alright, so from here, I can find my composite index. So if I tekan, I get 12185 over 100, which is 121.85. So this is the composite index for 2219. And now with this and this, we can find the composite index for 2519 by using smiley face. Okay. Let's write the year 19 followed by 22 followed by 25. The 120 you write at 25, 22. The 121.85 you write here. And then I'm trying to find the composite index of 2519. So the formula is always yang bawah sama dengan atas darab atas bahagi 100. So the composite index for 2519 will be 121.85 times 120 divided 100. So the answer is 146.22. Okay, last thing is you have to convert jadi percentage change. Okay, so if your index answer is more than 100 means it's increase. If less than 100 means decrease. But this one they say calculate percentage change and your answer is more than 100 so it's increase. So you have to write increase. Yeah, sebab kalau dia nak percentage change you have to mention the word increase or decrease. This one is increase lah. And increase how much? 46.22%. Yeah, because you ambil ini tolak 100. Okay, so that's the answer. Okay. Okay lah, but this question is very weird because the composite index for 2519 is already here. Okay. So it's like we have two different answer for the composite index 2519. Okay. Yeah, but I do it like this is because I try to use this information lah. Because takkanlah dia bagi information ni untuk for fun saja kan. Takkanlah dia just bagi short sendiri So mesti dia nak kita guna. So kalau dia nak kita guna info yang 25, 22, that means we have to find 22, 19 and then do smiley face, find our own answer composite index for 25, 19 and then write the percentage change. Okay. Okay lah, I'll just leave it at that. Hope you understand and I'll continue. Okay, let's do number 13. Okay, number 13 is which chapter? Form 5, chapter 7, linear programming. Dalam bahasa Melayu, pengatur caraan linear. Okay, this one you have to use graph paper later. Okay, okay, let's go. A factory produces two types of food products, A and B. The factory produces X units of product A and Y units of product B. So you know product A is X, product B is Y. This is very important because if we don't know what the XY represents, it's very hard for us to write the inequality, right? So you have, so this one very important. So the XY is the product lah. And then the production of this food product is based on the following constraint. 1, 2, 3. A, suruh write down 3 inequalities. Okay, for my part A, I will just do it up here. Okay, so for my part A, we have the first inequality, and then later write the second one here, and then write the third one here. Okay, the first one, total number of both types of food produced in a day is not more than 80. So x plus y not more than smaller equals 80. Yeah, they want the total, right? So x plus y. Okay, next one. One more thing. If your y is already positive on the left side, I will not pindah anything. Yeah, I will just leave it like that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, number two. The number of product B produced in a day is at most 3 times the number of product A produced in a day. Alright, number of product B is y. And then at most the symbol is smaller or equals 3 times number of A is 3x. And if the y is already positive on the left side, I will not change anything. I will not pindah anything, just leave it like that. Okay. Okay, last one. Number of product B produced in a day is not less than 20. Number of B is y. Not less than is bigger equals 20. Same also, the y is already positive on the left side, so I will not pindah anything. If let's say the y is negative, then maybe I will pindah the negative and then terbalikkan the symbol. Okay. Okay lah, but this one all y positive, cantik already. Alright, so let can do B already. Using a scale 2 cm to 10 unit of both axes, construct and shape the region R which satisfy the above constraint. Okay, for part B, you have to draw graph. But before going to the graph, you have to find coordinate for these 3 lines. Okay, so first step is tukar semua ni jadi equal dulu. X plus y equals 80. And then kalau dia ada X, ada Y means it's a sengit line. Kalau dia line yang sengit, you kena cari point lah. Same with the second line, Y equals 3X. Ada X, ada Y also. So it's a sengit line. So kalau sengit line, kena cari point. The last one is Y equals 20. Okay, ini tak payah cari point. Sebab dia bukan sengit line. Dia tak ada X, tak ada Y. Dia ada Y sahaja. So kalau dia ada Y sahaja, it will be a horizontal line. Dia akan memotong Y axis dekat 20. And it will be a horizontal line. So we don't need to find points for that. Okay. Ya, untuk sengit line itu kena carilah. Okay, usually we ganti X kosong, Y kosong. So when X kosong, Y 80. When Y kosong, X 80. Okay, ini kalau ganti X kosong, Y sama dengan 3 times 0, which is 0 also. If you ganti Y 0, you get back X 0. So that means we have to change to another point lah. Okay, we have to find another point later. But we can worry about that later. Now let's draw the axis first. Because after drawing the axis, we will know what value we have on Y and X. Then baru kita masuk point yang suitable, point yang sesuai dalam sini. Okay, sekarang kita lukis axis. 2 cm to 10 on both axes. Alright, so sini guna 8 kotak, sini guna 10 kotak. And for this chapter, the 0, 0 always duduk bawah kiri. Always. Because this chapter, dia memang tak ada negative value one. Because the XY represents number of product, right? Bilangan unit. Mana ada negative. Okay? So it's always bawah kiri. And then I always teach my students, sini guna 8 kotak, sini guna 10. Standard. Always. So it will be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Okay. Okay, dia exactly ngam-ngam cukup lah 80. Okay. Yeah, the graph paper they provide is always like a bit small one. Okay, but it's okay. We can use the side here. Okay, 30, 40, 50, 60. This one until you have to go until 100. So 70, 80, 90, 100. 10 kotak. Okay, so this one is the Y. And then this one is the X. So it will be like this. Sini tulis X. And then the other one tulis Y. Okay, this is the axis. Sekarang kita boleh plot dia punya line. Okay, I still remember the first line is 0, 80, 80, 0. So plot sajalah 0, 80 dekat sini, 80, 0 dekat sini. Alright, when you join the line, you should ask yourself this question. Is it a solid line or dash line? Yeah, I always tell my student this. You kena check whether it's solid line or dash line. So, kalau nak tahu, you kena tengok sini. Kalau dia ada line, that means solid line lah. Kalau dia ada equal, means solid line. So actually, for this question, tiga-tiga pun solid line. Yeah. Yeah. So have to check also. Sometimes it's dash line. Especially for mathematics. In mathematics, dia suka tanya dash line. In Addmaths, most of it is solid line lah. Alright, so untuk soalan ni tiga-tiga garisan pun solid line. Okay, so after drawing, write the equation x plus y equals 80. Okay, so let's write it up here. Okay, for the next line, I remember is y equals 3x. And the first point is 0, 0. The next point, I have to change to another point. So y sama dengan 3 darab x. So the y is already single. So 3 darab x. So you have a lot of x value here. But I have to darab 3. So if I take 80 times 3, it will be 200 lebih already. So cannot plot already. Because your y sampai 100 saja. So I think you can take x 30 lah. Yeah, because kalau X 30, 30 darab 3, you get 90. So yeah, perfect. So ambil X 30. Because when X 30, then Y goes to 3 times 30, which is 90 lah. So now we can join 0, 0 and 30, 90. And it will be a solid line also. Eh? So 0, 0 is here, 30, 90 is here, and then join using a solid line. And then write the equation Y equals 3X. Okay, sudah siap. Okay, finally the last line is Y equals 20, right? Okay, for the Y equals 20, you don't need to cari point because it's not a sangat line. It's just go to Y, cari 20, and then just draw a line yang horizontal. So this is the Y equals 20 line. And it's a solid line also. Yeah, solid line also. Okay, now we can lorate. We can shade the region. So kalau nak shade region, kita kena tengok simbol bigger or smaller lah. So kalau bigger lorek atas garisan, kalau smaller lorek bawah garisan. Tapi you kena make sure Y kena positive on the left side. But we already make sure Y is already positive just now. When I do part A also, I already checked just now. I already tell you just now, right? It's all positive already. So Y is already positive on left side. Boleh terus tengok dia adalah smaller. So kita kena ambil bawah garisan. Tapi garisan yang mana? X plus Y equals 80 lah. So it will be this line, tapi ambil bawah. So your shaded region could be here, it could be here, it could be here, it could be here. Okay. And then, jangan lorek dulu, check with the second one. Y smaller equals 3X. So the Y is already positive on left side. So tengok symbol smaller. So you have to take the bawah garisan. But which line? The Y equals 3X punya line, this one. So ambil bawah garisan means we have to erase this and this. So you're left with these two. So now we only have to check the inequality symbol for this line. So is it Y bigger 20 or Y smaller 20? So it's Y bigger 20. That means the shaded region have to be above this line right here. So confirm this one wrong already. So this is your shaded region. So now we have to shade this region. Okay, so it will look something like this. All right, I'm done with the part B. Okay, so part B says construct and shade the region R. Sudah siap. So A sudah siap, B sudah siap. Now is for the C. Okay, for C mesti ada satu soalan yang dia akan suruh awak slide. Ya, dia memang suka tanya the sliding question. The one where you have to draw the dotted line and then slide cari maximum or minimum macam tu, right? Okay, let's see. Number one, find the maximum unit of A produced if 30 units of B are produced in a day. Okay, this is not the slide question. Yeah, this is not the slide one. This one is asking you to find maximum of A, means find X maximum. Yeah, because A is X. If 30 is B, so when Y is 30 lah. So this one no need to slide. This one just go to Y, cari 30 and then tarik to the shaded region lah. Okay, Y 30 dekat sini. So you tarik a dotted line. Okay, the moment you touch the shaded region, that's the X minimum. If you tarik from here, you get the X minimum. But they want X maximum, so you should keep going until you reach here. Then only you tarik. Okay. Okay, why you have to tarik until here is because maximum. Maximum means you have to go until the last contact point with the shaded region. Yeah, the last time dia sentuh shaded region is here. If you keep going, then tak ada shaded region here already. So this is the last contact point with shaded region. So that's the answer, 50. Okay, 50. Okay, if you're my student, you will know about this. I always tell my student, when you reach the answer here, you have to check two things. First is you have to check, make sure the answer tak ada decimal. If the answer have decimal, then you maybe have to take the answer before. Because the X cannot have decimal one. So maybe you have to take before. Then what if before here also get decimal? Then you keep going lah until the ambil point yang tak boleh ada decimal. And then the second thing you have to check is make sure it's not a dash line. If it's dash line also you cannot take this. You also have to take another point that is near here, near to here, but make sure it's inside the shaded region. Okay, but the 50 boleh ambil. Sebab this is already a solid line and also tak ada decimal. Yeah, so 50 is the answer. Okay. Okay, done. Now for the number 2. Okay, this one is definitely the sliding question. Yeah. Okay, find the maximum profit made by the factory daily if the profit from the sales for product A is 25 ringgit, B is 60 ringgit. Okay, they want to find maximum profit, but don't find maximum profit first. Let's write down the total profit first. So the total profit will be 25 for A, so 25x plus 60y. And then now you write back the 25x plus 60y, write that again, and then find out the LCM. LCM means lowest common multiple. In BM is gandaan sepenuhnya terkecil. So the gandaan, what's the LCM for 25 and 60? Okay, we can try taking 60 times 1 and then try to take the answer divide 25. And I will get decimal. So that means that's not the LCM. Okay, what about 60 times 2? 120. 120 bahagi 25 cannot also. You get decimal. So 120 is not the LCM. What is 60 times 3? 180. Tak boleh bahagi 25 also. 60 times 4, 240. Cannot divide 25 also. 60 times 5, 300. And 300 can divide 25. So 300 is the LCM. Okay. Yeah. Alright, now we can cari dua point here. And we will ganti X kosong, Y kosong. Okay, when X kosong 300 divided 60, that's 5. And then ganti Y kosong 300 divided 25, that's 12. So plot this and then draw a dotted line. 0, 5, 12, 0. So 0, 5 is here. 12, 0 is... Okay, satu kotak kecil is 1 here. So 10 tambah 2 kotak kecil, so it's here. And this one you have to use dotted line. Okay, so I will use green color line. I will use green color to represent dotted line. Okay, so you all have to draw dotted line here lah. And don't forget to write the equation of this line. It's 25x plus 60y equals 300. Okay, sometimes I will add zeros here. Yeah, sometimes I will add another 0 here. But why I never do this for this question is because if I add a 0, then this point become 120 0 already. But there's not enough space to to draw until 120 lah, and that's why. Okay, now we have to now we can focus on finding the maximum profit. Okay, so now we can maximum profit. So the formula for profit is 25x plus 60y. So the xy later you have to ganti with the last contact point with the shaded region. So we have to slide lah. We have to slide the dotted line until it reach the maximum point. Okay. Okay, so how do we slide it? Okay, what I will do is I will duplicate. Okay, when we slide, we have to make sure the line is always parallel. So we slide, 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 slide. Okay, until the last contact point with the shaded region, which is this right here lah, from here. And then after you reach the last contact point, you have to draw a line there. But the line don't have to be so long one. Just like lebih kurang macam ni, and it's also a dotted line. And then you take the coordinate, and then baca the coordinate lah, 20, 60. Okay. Okay, point ni boleh ambil sebab apa? Sebab dia tak berada dekat dash line. Yeah, it's not on the dash line, and also dia tak ada decimal. Okay. But remember, if it's dash line ataupun dia ada decimal, then you have to take other points that is inside the shaded region and is like near to the answer. Okay, so 2060 boleh ambil. So boleh ganti sini dengan sini. Alright, now just tekan this, you'll get the maximum profit. Have to write RM for this because it's profit. So 4100 is the answer. Okay, I am done with this question. Okay, let's continue. Okay, 14 I won't do. That's the kinematics. Okay, 15 is the last question. Okay, let's finish it. This one is definitely the segitiga one lah, from 4 chapter 10. And I can already see from the diagram it's a 3D question. Okay, sometimes the 3D question can get very difficult one. Yeah, usually the 3D soalan. Okay, I don't know about this question because I forgot already because I did this long time ago already. So I forgot how the question asked already. But it's okay, we will do it together again here. So let's go. Diagram 9 shows a triangular stage. Oh, this is a stage. Okay, ABC. All right, so ABC is the stage. Where's ABC? This one, this one, this one. So this one is the stage. Okay, stage. Okay, so let's write nicely. This is the stage. The tapak lah. The tapak is the stage. And then AE and CF are two vertical columns on the base of vertices A and C to build the roof of triangle stage BEF. Okay, I don't understand. What is this? AE and CF are two vertical column on the base AC. So AE is this line, CF is this line. There are two vertical column on the base A and C. Okay, okay, understand. So the stage must be at the horizontal ground, right? And then AE and CF are both vertical. Vertical on the base A and C. So A and C is the base. So that means they are trying to tell you this is 90 degree lah. Yeah, I think that's what they meant, right? Yeah, because vertical means it's completely straight, vertical, straight like that. So if this one is straight and C is the base, it means this is 90. Same with here lah. This also will be 90. Even though it doesn't look like 90, but it's 90. The reason why it doesn't look like 90 is because it's 3D lah. That's why it doesn't look like 90, but it's 90. Eh? Okay, to build the roof of triangle stage BF. Oh, this one is the roof. So I will just write here roof. The BF is the roof. Okay. Okay, very weird looking stage. Eh? Okay, so now given that the length AECF 8 meter. Mana? AE. Okay, so this is the height here. CF 8 meter. BC 16.03. Okay, this is the label. A1, find the length of AC. All right, let me tell you something. For the 3D question, you should always ask yourself which triangle to use. Yeah, because usually the diagram, if it's a 3D diagram, there's usually a few triangles here. So you can see there's one triangle, there's two triangle, there's three triangle, there's another one triangle here, right? So you should ask yourself which triangle you should use. So if you're finding AC, which triangle you will use? Definitely this triangle, the BAC triangle, definitely. Definitely. Imagine you use BEF triangle to find AC. Not possible. It's not possible. Yeah, you have to use this triangle, right? And after you know this triangle, now you see what information you have. So on this triangle, you have you want to find AC, and you already have the other two sides, and you have the angle opposite of AC. So you can use cosine rule. Yeah, I can know so fast is because I have found already the case for cosine rule. There's only two cases that can use cosine rule. One case is when you have two sides and included angle and you're finding the other side. And then another case is when you have three sides and you're asking to find any angle inside. Okay. So yeah, this is the case that you can use cosine rule. All right, so let's use cosine rule formula. The formula is a square equals b square plus c square minus 2bc cos a. Okay, if the b and c you silap tulis tak apa. Ya, the b and c kalau you terbalik tak apa. You will get the same answer. Tapi A tu tak boleh silap tulis. Kalau A ni silap tulis, then the whole thing wrong already. Okay, the small a will always be the side that's opposite the angle. So the side that's opposite the angle is always the A. So opposite angle is AC. So that's the small a. And then B square plus C square will be the other two side. 8.02 square plus 16.03 square minus 2 times 8.02 times 16.03 and then cos A, which is cos 46. Okay. Okay, not enough space pula. Uh, okay lah, whatever lah. I will just write here. Cos 46. Okay, for this you tak payah tekan satu-satu. Just tekan everything. Ya, semua just tekan semua sekaligus dalam calculator. So I get 142.67. But don't forget there's a square here, so pindah jadi square root. So your AC will be square root answer is 11.94. Yeah, just write false in figure. Okay, I should label this in the diagram also. Yeah, because in case later might use it. Oh, it's in meter, guys, not cm. Yeah, so don't make the careless mistake in the exam nanti. If it's in meter, you better write in meter. Okay, number 2, find the possible angle of BAC. Okay, why they say possible? Sudut yang mungkin. So does that mean it has two answer? Because possible means like you have to list out the possibility, right? So maybe I have two answer. I don't know. Okay, let's go and look for it first. Where's BAC? It's here. So we'll use the same triangle lah. Yeah, we're still using the same triangle. Okay. So let me highlight it. B A. Okay, why so? Okay, BAC like that. So we're still using this triangle, but this time we are using it to find this angle right here. Okay. So how to find this angle? Use sine rule lah. Yeah, because you have the opposite. You're trying to find this angle and you have the opposite side and you also have one complete pair here. So yeah, definitely can use sine rule. So I write sine BAC over the side yang opposite there is 16.03 equals to the complete pair sine 46 over 11.94. Okay, now it makes sense why they say possible angle. Yeah, because you will have two answer when you tekan shift sign. You know that, right? Yeah, you should know this. When you tekan shift sign, there's always two answer. Okay, okay, let's tekan ini bahagi ni darab ni dulu. So I get 0.9657. But now I have to tekan shift sign answer. And when you tekan shift sign answer, the calculator will only give you one answer. Okay, I'll usually write in degree minute 74.96, but in degree minute it's 74 degree 58 minutes. But there's actually another answer because add sugar to coffee, and when your sign answer is positive, you have quadrant 1, quadrant 2 answer. So to get the quadrant 2 is I take 180 minus answer lah. Okay, I got 105.04, but if you write in degree minute, it's 105 degree 2 minute. I usually write in degree minute lah. You can write in decimal if you want, up to you. Okay, so these are the two possible values. And usually in exam, how do we know which one is the correct answer? We have to use our eyes to check whether it's a quadrant 1 angle or quadrant 2 angle. Yeah, because we have to check lah, use our eyes to judge ourselves whether it's a acute angle or obtuse angle. But this is a bit hard to judge because it's a 3D diagram. Yeah, it's a 3D, so it's like hard to tell whether this one is this one or this. And also the question also said write down the possible angle. So I think you have to take both answer lah. You cannot reject. You cannot reject and take both. They already said write the possible angle, right? So the sudut yang mungkin is this one and this one. But which one is the accurate one? Which one is the correct one? For now, I still don't know. Yeah, for now I don't know. Okay. Okay, now let's do number 3. Find the sudut BEF. This one have to use another triangle already. Yeah, this one have to use another triangle already. Because BEF is this one, and then this one, right? So this is completely different triangle already. So now they want to find this sudut right here, BEF. If the area of BEF is 18.64 meters square and BEF is an obtuse angle. Okay, so they did mention that it's an obtuse angle. So it means your angle has to be more than 90, smaller than 180. Means it's a quadrant 2 angle. Yeah, quadrant 2 angle. And then also give us the area of roof. So definitely have to use the area formula later. Okay. Alright, let's draw out the red color triangle first. Yeah, because dia sangat sempit. Yeah, it's very hard to label here because dia sangat sempit. So let me just draw out my own BEF. Okay, they did mention the area, right? So the area of this triangle is 18.64 meters square. And what I'm trying to find is the sudut BF. So if I have these two sides, then it's very good. Because if I have these two sides, then I can just do 1/2 AB sine C equals to 18.64. Then I can just pindah, right? So do I have the BE side? No. Do I have the EF side? Yes, because EF and AC is same, 11.94. So yeah, because this line and this line mesti sama kan? Okay, BE side ni memang tak boleh cari ke? Dia tak bagi tapi memang tak boleh cari ke? Boleh kan? Remember, this is a right angle. This is right angle. Remember, I put a 90 degree here because this is vertical, remember? So you can use Pythagoras theorem to find BE. It will be square root, bracket square, and then it will be 8.02 and 8. Okay, plus or minus? Plus, because you are finding the hypotenuse. You can see this side is the opposite 90 degrees. So you are finding the longest side of the right angle triangle. So you have to plus. So you can actually find this. So what do you get? 11.33 meter. So that's the BE panjang. So now you can use the area formula to find the sudut already. So it'll be 1/2. Okay, let me just separate it nicely like this. So it'll be 1/2 AB sine C, and the C is the sudut BF, equals to 18.64. Okay, the AB sine C will be 11.33 and 11.94. Yeah, so 1/2 AB sine C. Okay, now how to find the sine BF? Just slowly pindah lah. Okay, let's find sine BEF first. So macam mana tekan? 18.64 bahagi 11.94 bahagi 11.33 times 2. So I get 0.2756, and then shift sign answer, you will get 16. Let me check. Shift sign 0.2756. Yeah, I got 16 degree. But I told you many times, when you tekan shift sign, shift cos, shift tangent, you should always be aware of this. There's actually two answer because add sugar to coffee. So for sign positive, you have another answer in quadrant 2. And to get that answer, you have to take 180 minus. Okay, so you get 164 degree. But how to know which one is the correct one? Well, you can use your eyes to check whether it's an acute angle or obtuse angle. And also this question, they already mentioned it's an obtuse angle. So definitely the 16 have to reject. So reject. So the only answer that makes sense here is 164 degrees. That means this one is 164 degrees. Okay. Let me double check. 180 minus 16. Yeah, correct. Okay, so this is how I would do the A1, A2, A3. Okay, 8 marks already for this. Okay, so the full mark is 10 marks. So the remaining 2 marks must be from the next part lah. Okay, this one. Okay, I can tell already it's an ambiguous case. Yeah, because they say sketch. Okay, the stage has been enlarged to shape A prime, B prime, C prime. Okay, where's the stage? The yellow color triangle is enlarged. So the triangle become bigger. Yeah, become bigger. And it has a different shape from the original ABC, such that A prime, B prime equals to AB, B prime, C prime equals to BC, and the angle A prime, C prime, B prime equals to angle ACB. Sketch the new triangle. Okay, let's see what's the condition here. So the condition is A prime, B prime panjang kena maintain. So I will use red color. So this line has to, the line has to be stay sama panjang, and the BC line also dia punya panjang kena stay the same, right? And then there's one more angle here, ACB kena stay sama. So this angle cannot change. So the size of this angle have to stay the same. Okay. So they did mention about being enlarged. So definitely your new triangle will be bigger than this, right? All right. So let me tell you something. When you do ambiguous case, mesti ada satu line yang you kena gerak. Satu line yang kena gerak. Tapi you have to make sure dia ikut syarat ni lah. Alright. So if they got tell you the angle, you check the angle first. So they already say this angle have to be fixed. That means these two lines memang tak boleh gerak. Because if you gerak this line a bit, the angle will change size. If you gerak this also, the angle will change. So the only line that can move is AB. Yeah, the AB line is flexible. The AB line is flexible. But you cannot move B. Because if the A stay here, the B move, what's gonna happen is the panjang here will change. Remember they say the 16.03 have to stay the same, right? But they never say the AC have to stay same. They never say the AC panjang kena maintain. That means you can move A. Yeah. So the line BA will move, but A yang kena move. But you have to move to the left, not to the right. If you move to the right, it's very funny one. Because if you move to the right, it's like it will just become like yeah, doesn't make sense lah. It has to move to the right. And the AC line have to panjangkan. Yeah, the AC line have to extend, and then the point A will move here until it reach here. Yeah. You can just imagine this is the radius of circle, and then you are just drawing a circle like that. Okay. Okay, but of course you don't have to draw it lah. I'm just explaining. So it's like you move until here, and this is your A prime. Okay. Okay. Before I continue, I just want to mention why cannot do like that. Why cannot the A stay here and then the B move until here B prime? Why cannot do like that? Okay, there's two reasons. One is if you do like that, the stage becomes smaller already. They already say have to enlarge. Okay. And another reason is when you move like that, the 16.03 becomes shorter already. Yeah, if you move like that, the sign becomes shorter already. That's why you can't do like that. Okay. So the correct way is to extend this line and then move this to the left until these two lines sama panjang. And this is your A prime. Okay, but of course you have to draw a new one in the answer space. So let's draw the ambiguous case. Okay, so you have the A prime C prime line. That's the longest line. And then this has to be a very short line, and this is very long. So it's like that. This one very short. And then it's a acute, must be acute angle here. And this one very long, very long. So this is your B prime. This is your A prime. This is your C prime. Okay. But of course there's a point A here, but we don't have to draw that. Okay. Yeah. And let's do number 2 now. Hence state the value of A prime, B prime, C prime. So it's this angle lah. Okay, how to find this angle? Okay, we can use atas punya because sini ada banyak information. So we do know the panjang here is 8.02 and the 46 is just part of the angle. So, all right, let's start from the isosceles triangle because usually isosceles triangle you can have a lot of information, right? Okay, do I have this angle? Yes, I can find this angle. Because do you remember the BAC? I find it just now. Oh, but I got two answers. So which one you want to take? They never say, right? Yeah, in question 2, they never say the BAC is This one or this one? Okay, actually it has to be this. It has to be 105 degree 2 minute. Yeah, this angle right here has to be 105 degree 2 minute. So that when you take 180 minus, you get here, you get 74 degree 58. Yeah. Okay, let me explain why you cannot take 74 degree 58 for the BAC angle. Because if you take this, then the other side will be 105 degree 2 minute already. But these two angles has to be the same. Wait, how can this be 105? This one also 105. If this one 105, you tambah dua dapat 200 lebih already. But it can't be because the total angle inside triangle should be 180. That's how I know this must be 105 degree 2 minute, and then 180 minus you get this. And guess what? This angle will be same size, 74 degree 58 minute. That means this angle right here lah. Okay. Okay. What about this angle? Do I have this angle? I don't have. But it's okay because I can take 180 minus these two angles to get angle atas. And then after I get angle atas, just plus with 46 lah. Then I can get the full angle here already. So that's the answer, right? Okay, so let's do that now. So the angle A prime, B prime, C prime, which is here to here, it will be 180 degrees minus 74 degree 58 minute 2 times. Ya, dua kali ya, 58 minutes, dua kali. And then plus with what? After you tolak sini, dapat sini plus with what? Plus with 46. Okay. Okay, so let me press 180 minus 74 degree 58 minute times 2 and then minus plus 46. Okay, I got 76.07 degrees. In degree minute is 76 degree 4 minutes. Okay, so that's all for this question. All right, so this is both 10 marks. All right, I'm done with the whole paper. So kertas peperiksaan tamat. All right, if you all want more videos like this, make sure you subscribe. And if you want to gain early access to all my future videos, you can join my channel membership. All the links are in the description. Okay, so if you are interested, just go to the link in the description. All right, I'll see you next video. So that's all for this video. All right, bye bye.